Pretty cool. There was some crazy good moments.
Elegant.
Pretty cool. There was some crazy good moments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is up, guys, and welcome to the VisualWood Podcast, episode number 25. How
Did you like me doing
doing
the porn voice there?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to get the jump. I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, I'm going to do it first this time.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Yeah.
I could just cut you out, like the power
Yeah,
of
but
editing.
don't. Yeah, but don't. People want to hear that. It's like attractive.
So what's up? How are you doing?
Not much, man. Today, guess what I've been... I can't. I've made this comment so many times, but guess what I've been doing in Guild Wars 2 today?
Okay, what you been doing?
Guess.
Doing a worm?
What's my answer been
Doing
to
a
this?
worm over and over again?
Yeah, doing the worm over and over and over again.
Wow.
It's amazing. I've got like
Wow.
all these people like that because I was PvPing before this started. I've got these people that are like slowly whispering me more and more and more now. They're like, "Hey, are you gonna come back to PvP? There's like a tourney in the summer. You coming back? You coming back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it. And then every day I'm like, "Oh no, there's more worm stuff." So, worm, high five. But we did play some PvP, right?
Yeah, on the Ready
Together?
Up stream, man. How was that? Yeah, we did awesome, didn't we?
Do you want to tell people what happened?
All right, so basically, we had this I guess they call it dodgeball, but it wasn't really dodgeball. It was a stream, right, where the viewers got to vote. It was regular PvP, best out of 5. Members from the community and a little bit of the devs, getting basically 2 team captains. Was it Cutie Pie? Is his name?
Cutie pie, sup cutie.
Sub Cutie and Cade.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's it.
Cade. I remember his name. Where is he from again? I feel like I've seen him play and Sub Cutie before. Did I meet them
Yeah,
at
they're
PAX?
quite well. Yeah. I think I'm almost 100% sure at least Cade was at PAX. I don't know about Sub Cutie. I think they probably were.
Were they?
But yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You may have met these people.
Or one of them. One of them were. I swear I made.
You
met
made
one
small
of them.
talk for 5 minutes with one of them in the PvP lobby, and they were like, "No."
Pretty much, yeah. All right. Well, basically, what happened is they get to pick the teams, and then the viewers will vote on which one they will think who would win. If the viewers win, if the viewers' votes win, they get like an extra 250 points of rank points.
Yeah. So ArenaNet did a bit of a weird thing. They were like, "Yo, we're gonna let you guys watching the live stream vote on which team wins, and if you guess correctly, then we will up your in-game rewards," which is kind of cool. But it did put me in the very peculiar position of letting the whole community down 3 times in a row. You weren't so bad, were you? Because you won one of your games.
Well, I won one of my games, but it wasn't because of me. Come on, let's be honest here.
Yeah, but you didn't let your team. You didn't let everyone down.
Oh, please. You didn't let everyone down.
Dude,
well, the thing is that last game though, like no one weak was on your team and you guys still lost. So I'm starting to wonder like what happened there. I'm guessing Sub Cutie's just like, I don't know, like he just had the better people, I guess. I don't know what happened. I don't understand how you got Bogarter and me were like the newbies, right? He's like level 6.
And you were dancing together on a node.
Yes,
for like the
that's
last
right. Because that's how we do it.
minutes.
Because that's how we do it. All right, that's how we win games. Is having fun.
I saw that on the live stream. I'm like, what? We lost this game, and these two are just stood here / dancing, doing nothing on the node. I was like raging. I was like, what is going on here? And on that match, I wasn't trebbing that well, but I spent the entire time. I was pulling my weight at the very least because I had pressure on every node we were ever pushing, and we still lost. We were like 5v3 because you two were just wasting time on your close point. Oh my god! But so that people know here, okay? The community voted for me and Cade's team every single time.
I was
and
on
we
their team
lost
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt was with us for the first 2 games, and then eventually like got swapped at the end against his will. And every single game they voted that we would win. Every single game we lost. Wow, I mean, what a horrible situation to be in. I think the devs took pity on everyone anyway, and I think they upped the rewards slightly, but I don't know whether it was as much as it could have been. Like, what the hell is that?
I felt like I would have been better if I wasn't constantly fighting a thief. Subcutie kept killing me. Like, he was on the opposite team, and he kept coming for me. Was it Subcutie and somebody else? Or was it always Subcutie? I can't remember who, but I know he was one of the ones that kept coming after me. And there was this fight that we had on the second round. And it was the first round, and we were kind of close, and Subcutie kept coming after me, but he killed me most of the time. But there was this point where they were actually watching me, and I actually kind of survived a little bit more, but I felt like I should have been a little bit more tanky, and I should have had bomb kit to kind of destroy him every time he came after me. I wanted bomb kit, but I was like, oh, but the wrench is pretty cool too. You know, I can do some really cool stuff, especially like because I was hoping that a warrior would come after me because I could totally destroy warriors. Warriors are easy for me because, you know, they'll try to do the 100 blades crap or whatever, depending on what spec they're running, unless they're running that stupid hammer. Oh, my gosh, so annoying.
Hambo. No one's running greatsword. Well, some people run greatsword.
Well, you know,
in that tourney, I don't think
if they try to hit me, you know, I just put the confusion on them, and then I just destroy them with the grenades. Just do so much condition. That's why I didn't kind of want to switch my spec up to, like, bunkerish, because I wanted to do some damage, and it ended up helping you guys every time I would spam mid. I would just bomb everyone, and it was great. And that's how I was useful, and that's pretty much it, though. I kind of sucked when it came down to 1v1s because I was always fighting a thief, and when I fought, I 1v1'd a guardian, I ran away because that dev was ridiculous. Holy crap, that damage guardian, I got to give props. Wow.
Dude, that was the weirdest build ever. For those people know, okay, this was a DPS guardian who was running like Tome of Wrath. Tome of Wrath! I died to the book, like, I know at least twice. Like, what is this? This is, like, crazy. Like, oh my god, I've never seen anything quite like that.
Because they know the inside stuff, so they know what's
No, that's
imbalanced
not
or not.
inside
Yes,
stuff.
they know
No,
what's
it's
imbalanced. Yes, they do. I've heard them talk like, oh, a lot of people, I use this because, you know, no one's really, you know, thinking about this type of build because we made this change. Because they make the change and they know what is going to break the game, right? So
I don't think they do. I don't put that much. I'm sorry to be the pessimist.
Yeah,
I don't think that they know the meta as well as many of the players do. And I don't think they know
I think a
as
couple
well
of
as
them
the
do.
players do.
Or maybe
I don't
one
think
or
there's
two.
some hidden build out there. Like, they made a comment on one live stream where they were like, oh yeah, we knew Hambo was in the game for ages. Like, we knew that the numbers were really high on this, but no one was ever running it, and we couldn't understand why. And then one day everybody started running Hambo, and we were like, yeah, finally the community's caught on. But that's, like, completely untrue. The reason why people started running Hambo was because of their changes, like Cleansing Ire and Healsick. Like, these were the reasons, because they were much needed utility that the warrior had to have. It wasn't some magical, finally the community's caught up with the devs who are, like, one meta ahead all the time. It's no way. Like, book DPS guard. I just can't.
Anyway, I say props to, I think his name was Stronghold. Was his name Stronghold? Or
yeah, he did very well. To be fair, he did very well.
He was this humongous Norn lady, and if I'm gonna get beaten in PvP, it has to be a big Norn lady. Come on now.
What do you mean by that?
Come on now.
You've talked about this a few times. Are you like?
I like big
What's
Norn.
that called?
I like big Norn ladies, dude.
What's like? No, but in real life, like some guys are into like big ladies, aren't they? What's that called?
Well, there's a rare. You can't really find a huge lady like a Norn in real life. Like, they're rare, dude.
No.
Like, you gotta grab on tight if you find one. You know what I'm saying? I like short girls too, so that's why I married my wife.
I was like, wow. I was gonna mention like, oh, so what's your wife look like for a second?
She's short. Yeah, she's short, and I like short. Like, having a taller girl, you know, it's kind of intimidating. There was one of them in high school that I was kind of fond of, and she was
Really?
tall, dude. She was a mountain, and she wasn't like, when I say big girl, I mean like a tall girl who's you know, she got some guys would think
Some
that's
meat on her.
fat. But I don't. I think a girl with some meat on her is very attractive. So,
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did she play volleyball?
Yeah. No. She played soccer.
No, not soccer. Why football?
No, I think.
Why would you play that?
No, not football. It's soccer, guys. some people go.
It's football. Vote in the
rage
comments.
worthy.
Vote in the comments. Type a 1 if it's
Oh,
football,
man.
a 2 if it's soccer.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Oh gosh, you are gonna rage at that. But yeah, like I think it was volleyball. I think it was volleyball that she played. She was a
Yeah, it
mountain
has to be
of
volleyball.
just meat just bouncing that ball. I'm pretty sure she was a boss. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it was the ball that was bouncing, or
Okay. Anyways, so how did you feel generally? Did you feel like you failed, or I mean, I'm pretty sure you had some good moments. I didn't watch the whole thing rerun, but I kind of watched the part when me and Richie were dancing in the back, and the part when they were like, "Oh, Matthew did pretty well for a noob." And I'm like,
scrub.
For a scrub, I'm like, oh, okay, they're giving me props. And, people in the comments are so brutal, dude.
Dude, yeah, what the hell? I
Holy
didn't see too many
crap.
people saying stuff about you.
I don't know,
To be
because
fair.
I'm happy that people don't take me that seriously. They're like, oh, I come to Match Channel for the best gameplay possible. Like, I'm glad people are not like that. I'm pretty sure some people are that haven't noticed yet, but... like, I'm pretty sure most people will come because, I just have a good time with games. And hopefully, and that's probably most of the people who came from my Twitter.
I actually never tweeted it. Oh, I retweeted Bogot, apparently. Yeah. I don't know, man. The chat was fine. I didn't mind that much, like, because I don't
But you're
respect...
big, though. You're big.
I don't respect anyone, like, the layman's opinion, to be honest. But, like, one guy was like, oh, WP clearly just Skyhammer farmed to 60. I was like, I hate you.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we were just reading about that long thing about what Total Biscuit said about ridicule from, like, comments.
Yeah,
and stuff.
man.
They
That's
might
quite the
love
topic.
you, but they would say stuff like that to you.
I never we never, like, called about that. So what do you think? Let's do this as a little bit of a topic. What do you think about what was said in that?
What, TB? The TB
Yeah,
thing?
the TV thing. Yeah, what do you think? Do you reckon you'll ever get that way?
No.
First, tell people what was the post.
All right, so you sent me a post over Skype saying about, I already knew about how TV handled stress about people, because he does a lot of cynical stuff. He does a lot of stuff where he's like, okay, this sucks, and this is his opinion, right? And he made a job out of telling people what is
Critiquing.
wrong about the game, right? And even if it would hurt him personally, right? Because I'm pretty sure devs attack him. I mean, it's been done before, and he just totally just destroys them, right? People attack him all the time. People attack him on Twitter. People attack him on Facebook. And he had to give his Twitter away to his staff for them to handle, and, so he wouldn't look at, like, Twitter. Because people would generally... I think it has a lot to do with people don't know this is going to hurt someone when they write down the comment. They might not even do it in the wrong way. They might be having a bad day or something like that, and they don't really realize, okay, this is probably going to hurt the person on the other end, right? And also, when you're texting, and I mess up like this as well. That's why I generally like to talk to people. And when I first started talking to WP, I was like, we need to talk instead of
He's
text.
one of these annoying people that has to be on the phone, like,
Because
jeez.
I don't want to say something and people take it the wrong way.
You can
it
show
happens
plenty
on
of
Skype.
character in text.
It happens on Twitter all the time, dude. All the time.
Well, that's because if you say, I hate puppies on Twitter, people are only going to take that one way.
Dude, I totally
They can't
didn't
see you
say I
grinning
hate
as you
puppies.
say it.
I just said that I wish I could put them in the microwave and they'll be fine. Instead of blowing up like that.
Jesus.
Okay? That's all I said. And
Blowing
people
up like puppies would in a microwave.
Wow, that was very dark.
Yeah.
That was very dark.
Someone messaged me the other day saying, every single podcast you've been doing has been taking like a really dark turn lately. I was like, okay, I agree with that for the last podcast, but like other ones, and he's like, yeah, there was this. I'm like, oh wow, okay. Yeah.
We're talking about like very crazy topics. We add a little racism in there, and it just kind of makes it all well rounded, right? The podcast
like
where you can get everything.
You like the phone, right?
Let's
not go there.
All right. So, anyways, yeah, like he takes it. He says other people take it well, and this is why a lot of YouTubers don't answer comments anymore and don't really generally read all of them as they used to because it affects them. And when you hear people talking trash, oh, you suck, or you should have done this, or blah blah blah. The backseat gamers. Basically, sitting in their back seat and saying all this stuff when they can't do any better. And it's the same thing with the Ready Up live stream. People talking trash about, anyone. Oh, they made a wrong move. All of a sudden, they're the worst gamer possible, and plus they probably can't even do better. It's like, why are you talking trash for? It's like, why are you talking trash? Like, yes, maybe he could have done that better, but like, I'm not talking about critique, and I'm not talking about feedback. I'm talking about people generally just like stabbing someone in the back like multiple times, like saying like, you suck and you should probably jump off a cliff and stuff like that. Those type of comments,
It's kind of with the TV thing, like. The whole point of the thread was, these people, he's one of the quotes that he says that really resonates with me is he's like, it's death by 1,000 cuts. No one like gets super offended by one thing one random guy says, but it's constant, all this negativity all the time. But I on that specific Reddit thread, if you go really low down, obviously you get to the downvoted comments and the lowly rated ones. It's kind of an interesting game to play with a lot of really big threads, like Ask Reddit threads and stuff, just to look at the very bottom for all the unpopular opinions, all the really stupid. And a lot of the time you just get a lot of trolls and stupid stuff that doesn't contribute to the discussion at all. But in this particular thread, it was like just a hive of the scum that like were basically being discussed in the rest of the thread. All these people saying, just man up, blah, blah, blah. Who's got, this is the greatest job in the world. You're getting paid to play video games. This is so, blah, blah, blah. It was actually really, really, really interesting for me to read a lot of those comments. And I don't know. I think it's like, for me at least, you have to pick a certain time with something like this where you eventually have to say, right, yeah, I can't look at the community right now.
Yeah.
I don't know about for you as well, but like for me, I feel like I'm at a great size right now where it's like I can appreciate and read everything, but there it does get to a point where it's like, wow.
Oh, you will. You're going to get it, because we got to know that not everyone thinks the way we do or you yourself do. And we have a wide variety. Once you get out there, the world, everyone has different views about everything. About, like when it's the same thing when people talk about gay marriage or all those views that people have, they're fighting with stuff, right? And you mention stuff, and like you'll have half the people talking, like, oh, why would you say this? Why would you do that? Why? And then they'll generally hate you for it. And then some people that just don't care and they just want to have a good time. There's so many different, like, people out there, and then once you get bigger, that range kind of explodes, and then you're gonna get some of those guys who are kind of like, they watch you for that one thing, and if you don't do that one thing right, they're gonna kill you for it, pretty practically, and they'll still watch you too.
Yeah, I think another thing with like the TB thing, I guess I have a bit of a unique perspective. Like with these people that were like really low down in the thread or whatever, it was weird as I was reading it because most of these guys were basically saying, "Oh yeah, he blocked me once because I said this. He blocked me once because I said this." And like these people end up just like stupidly hating someone for making videos on the internet or whatever for ages. And like it's weird because I don't know whether I ever told you this, but he's like blocked me as well on Twitter.
Really?
I can watch it. Yeah. At Guild Wars 2's launch, he put up like a video that basically said Guild Wars 2 has a hard Holy Trinity. That was what he said in one of his videos, which is obviously untrue. Guild Wars 2 sort of has or tries to have a soft Trinity, but even that is terrible, and it's basically just DPS. But at the time, a lot of Guild Wars 2 fanboys, this was when there was a huge audience for it, people frothing their mouths for it. Like counted him on it and like started leaving loads of negative comments saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, blah 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 blah." Anyway, he tweeted out on this day saying, "Oh, these stupid rabid Guild Wars 2 fanboys, they're just morons. What are they doing? Blah blah blah. Oh, you can't say one slight thing. Why am I making Guild Wars 2 videos when this fan base is so stupid?" But so basically, he made a mistake, and instead of admitting to his mistake, he was just backhanding all of his viewers and the whole Guild Wars 2 community in particular.
I remember that.
For calling him out on it. Anyway, on that day, when he left that quote on Twitter, I said, because I thought, that's out of order. This is not the right way to be approaching this situation. I left him a simple tweet that said, just learn a little bit more about the game before you do a video on it.
And it's a text, I told you. So,
but
like,
no.
think about it both ways.
Don't turn
think
it
about
to that.
Dude,
He blocked me for
think about it both ways. If you're generally annoyed and you think that Guild Wars 2 fanboys are always have an attitude, and especially if you're having a bad day, and he has people have said a lot of Jesse Cots, all of them have said, you could be having a bad day and they will just block you because they think you're saying it a certain way.
I guess in a way I was saying it in a certain way because I was already a bit grumpy myself about, the way he was handling it. But like it just took that to be like insta-block, done,
Yeah, they don't want to deal with it. There's certain times where I don't want to deal with people sometimes. But I don't really get that much. Like, it's rare. Like, once a year, I get like.
I
that
was
one
once
person.
blocked by Matt Visual on Twitter as well.
Oh, please. Did
And
you
then
even
we
know I
started
existed?
collabing. We started collabing, and he was like, "Oh my god, I blocked that guy. Damn it!" And like unblocked again.
Uh-huh.
On to you. I know it.
Yeah,
last
right.
podcast where I was like, "What conspiracies do you believe in?" That's my conspiracy right there.
The last time I had general like hate, like I've had hate pretty recently a couple times actually. Like people get mad about different stuff, but I remember I'll never forget though the first time I showed my face. I don't want to say the recent ones. And the first time I showed my face in that the short film I used to do back when I got on Kotaku. See, that's
when you were a little bit more weighty.
Yeah. Well, I was a little bit more meaty, a little bit, big sexual chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
Big sexual.
Yeah, man.
Was that like your online name before Matt Visual?
Sexual chocolate. That's actually a wrestler. Sexual chocolate.
Oh, is it?
He's like the blackest guy possible, wearing a black leotard. It was great. It's great. And every time he came out, I was like, yeah, sexual chocolate. It's so funny. His name is perfect.
You watched wrestling?
I used to be really into it back when The Rock was the thing.
How were you into wrestling,
dude? What The Rock says? Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Come on, dude. Jambroni, dude. Like, all that stuff was the boss, man.
You're basically speaking another language to me right now.
Dude, oh my gosh.
I've never understood. How can you get into
it?
It's just. Isn't it literally all?
The Rock. I used to even have Nintendo 64. No Mercy. Anyone who had an N64 and was into wrestling had No Mercy, dude. I bet 20 billion people are gonna be in the comments, be like, "Damn, you had No Mercy, dog. Damn, that was the best game ever. You can make your own characters and do, like all the special moves, dude. It was the best game, dude. Me and my stepbrother would just battle all day, dude. I'm gonna review that game, dude.
No Mercy, is that like on the list of old games you used to love?
Yeah, dude. I felt like you asked me that like in the first.
Yeah, no,
episode.
Yeah. I want to know what your list is, but I always hear about a new game every now and then. You seem to have forgotten. They're usually N64 games. I will say that.
No, well, I mentioned Mario 64 and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, that was the day when a lot of the old games would be N64, Super Nintendo. I upgraded a lot from Nintendo. Like, I only had like a few games from Nintendo, but I upgraded to Super Nintendo, then I got N64, then I got a PlayStation, then a PS2, and a lot of those games, those old games, will be around those era. That's a big window.
Xbox?
But I played a lot of games, dude.
No Xbox?
Yeah. Xbox, I played. I bought an Xbox first, right? Over a
PS2.
No, I bought a PS2 first.
No GameCube?
No. I bought an Xbox first. No GameCube. No, I did buy a GameCube. I did buy a GameCube. My brother did. My stepbrother did, and we would play stuff all weekend long, and play a lot of Smash Brothers. All of them, from N64 all the way to GameCube. Smash Brothers all the time.
That generation was awesome, dude. When there were actually 3 consoles to pick from, and not just like 2 consoles and then sort of a jokey, gimmicky console.
Yeah,
I miss that. Even though the GameCube didn't sell that well, I suppose.
Yeah, but then the Wii, they went with this thing, and I never got a Wii. I'm sorry, I just never got a Wii. I played my friend's own. I was never interested in it. I love my 2D Zelda. That's the thing. I love my 2D Zelda, and I've never played a 3D Zelda. Maybe one day I get forced to, but I've never played.
What is this? You've never played a 3D? I've never played a Zelda, but I've watched a lot of Let's Plays of Zeldas, and I've seen like friends and family play Zelda games. They've all been 3D Zelda.
Yeah,
games.
I'm back in the.
Aren't there only like 2D ones? Maybe 3.
Dude, have you Oh yeah, you don't have a 3DS yet, right? I haven't convinced you yet. I got for Christmas. I don't think I told what my Christmas gifts were, but I got a.
No,
yeah,
you did. You told me your Christmas gift, and then every podcast since you've said, "Oh yeah, I also got this thing that was like super awesome." Oh, I didn't tell you about that.
A Link Between Worlds, the new spiritual successor to Link.
Oh, I think you did tell me that actually.
Yeah,
I
and
just
it
forgot.
was fantastic. It was a fantastic game. Absolutely,
Because
I would
Zelda
play the
means
game.
nothing to me.
I would play the game on hard and do it all over again because it's just a fun.
What do you
game.
mean you would? Why don't you?
Because I'm busy. I'm busy doing stuff. That's why.
Video games all day, every day, bro. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, right. Just having no life whatsoever. Oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Video games doesn't mean you don't have a life. I mean, video games.
The worm is my life.
The worm. I can't do that. I don't know how you do that. Just play the worm all day long. Jeez.
Okay, I haven't been playing it so much lately, but I have been doing like a lot of testing and theorycraft and stuff about it.
All right. So
It's fun, dude.
speaking of stuff and gaming
Oh,
stuff.
what a segue. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Game Vid Expo. I just kind of want to tell everyone about it. Whoever lives in Atlanta or Georgia, come down to the Game Vid Expo. Spiked actually they actually invited me to the Game Vid Expo. I don't know a lot of people know what it's about.
Whoa. As a like attraction or as a guest?
I guess.
So they invited you because they saw your YouTube channel. Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Wow. How did they know where you lived?
I don't think they did. Well, they could have checked Twitter. I don't know if the community guy knows that I live in Atlanta, but I told him. I said, "Yeah, I live in Atlanta. Of course I'm going to come." It's like right down the street.
Him?
I'm also right down the street from Dragon Con, so it's like whatever. He sent me emails every once in a while, but there's going to be a Smite tournament. That's why he's inviting me.
I like how everything that you just told me sounds like really shady. I'm just throwing it out there.
What do you mean?
It's like some guy in the industry, like
He's a
that set up this
community
convention.
He's one of the
It's like
community
it's like you saw him doing something illegal once, and now like he just does you favors every now and then, and like you're just brushing over it. Like, yeah, we talk every now and then.
I play it on the stream sometimes. And I guess that's why. And also, do you remember? What's his name? He used to do Guild Wars 2 videos, and he got really big, really quick, and then he just stopped because he didn't like the game. He did like so-called high-quality videos. Not so-called.
Whoa,
That
you can't
sounded
say
so
his name
bad.
now because that's slander.
That's
slander now
That is
if you say
slander,
his
isn't
name.
it? He did high-quality videos. Well, that's back then when I didn't know anything about editing. Dude.
So you've amended your comments. So
He used
that
to
you
do
can say
Swole
his
Tour
name.
and stuff. Oh, dude, now I know. Get bunked.
Okay.
Everyone who was into Guild Wars 2 way back then and in the YouTubes know about Get Bunked. He did really good videos about like discussing the game, and he got really big really quickly. And then as Guild Wars 2 kind of died down and got killed off on YouTube practically, other than like Dante and you and me, he didn't like the game.
I like how by saying that, it's like you're saying to everyone, don't look for anyone else that's doing YouTube videos. Don't look.
Well, I mean,
There's nothing out there. There's nothing out there. Just all you need is me, Matt Visual, and you'll be fine.
No. All they need is you. All they need
That's
is
the
you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Well, it's not Valentine's Day today, but you're saying it kind of late, dude. How come you didn't ask me to be your Valentine yesterday, dude?
I had like a lot of lovely mails from people saying, "Here, look, here's stuff." Someone gave me a box of chocolates from the gem store.
Really?
That was legit. Like, I never got anything IRL for Valentine's Day, but I
thought you
got
had
a
a
ton of
girlfriend,
stuff
though.
in Guild Wars. We're not talking about this on the podcast. Got a ton of stuff in Guild Wars 2, which I was very happy about.
Yeah, I got a few things as well. I got to answer all of them back.
I'll give you like an internet card for Valentine's Day. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, those interactive thing. Well, they're not interactive, but some of them have like little videos in them and stuff like that.
Oh, it's actually a thing. Oh, I was just gonna give you like an email that said, "Dear Matt, Happy Valentine's Day."
Oh wow.
From WP.
Wow.
What'd you
I
think?
know how much thought you put into this relationship, and you know it just kind of
Look,
confirms
you
it every
didn't
once
give
in
me
a while.
anything. I'll give you an email. It's better than the other way around.
Listen. I am a caring friend. Okay. I'm constantly
didn't
saying,
get me anything for Valentine's
you know,
Day.
how are you with your dog? You know, or how you doing well with this? You know, you never
You haven't
asked
asked me about my
anything.
dog since the day.
What? You tripping now? Now you just. Oh, I'm snapping my finger. I'm doing the black thing right now. Oh,
That's
no,
like a black
you
woman
didn't.
thing. No black man has ever done
nobody
that.
wants to hear about this crap. Anyways, Game Vid Expo.
no.
It's
Yeah,
Total Biscuit's gonna be there. A lot of the Machinima guys. A couple of the guys from Smosh games, which I don't watch. I'm not into that white guy stuff.
Tell me about Smosh. Tell me about Smosh.
Wow, I just slide that in there. Even though I watch one of it. All right. So Sly Fox, if anyone knows him by the Creek.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that just now?
Captain Sparkles. He's a cool Minecraft guy. Whatever,
Okay.
Whatever. Just names I'm throwing out there. It's YouTube is gonna be there, and it's celebrating basically.
YouTube is going to be there. What?
Yeah. Well, they have a thing here. Google has a thing in Atlanta. Everyone has something in Atlanta. Every company has something in Atlanta. Like the big companies, I'm saying. Yeah, dude. Atlanta's hot.
I feel like
dude.
such an idiot. But what's like the capital? Do you get capitals of states?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Capital of Georgia is Atlanta.
Oh right. Okay. I'm really bad at American geography, and you're in Atlanta.
Yeah. I'm in the heart. Like if you look at Georgia, you're gonna see like this little highway circle. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of Atlanta. Like it's like a little heart. It's like a beating heart of.
How many floors up are you in your studio apartment?
4 floors.
4 floors up.
Let's not. Talk about where I live. Okay.
So where? Does
I'm not
the
that
window
big,
look in?
but I don't
Just,
know. I might have a few stalkers out there.
That's the last thing I wanted to know. If I were to look in your window, what would I be seeing?
You'll be seeing a garage.
A garage.
Yeah, a car garage.
Okay.
I swear, if like people go to Dragon Con, they'll probably find where I live just by me saying that. Well,
do you visit Dragon Con when you go?
No, it's like $150. It's a lot of money.
Why don't you like blackmail that guy to get you in as well?
The black guy? What? Oh, that guy. You said that guy, not the black guy. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I said blackmail the guy at Dragon Con to get you in for free, just like you're going into this other.
No, well, this is more of video games oriented. Dragon Con is more like board games and a lot of cosplay, a lot of naked people walking around.
Naked people?
Yeah. Like girls just wearing like very skimpy outfits.
So
I saw this girl all in paint, and I was like, wow. And I was with my wife. I was like, look at that. And she was like, wow. She was like, wow. Yeah, me and my wife be clowning. Okay? She doesn't care about that stuff. So I was like, wow. It's just bouncing everywhere. And I'm like, wow. And I have to take a few seconds, and then she slaps me. I'm a guy.
I like to
what
think
can I
that
say?
you're just like looking at her with your lips slightly pursed, eyebrows up, just going, wow.
But
look at that.
The thing is that the boyfriend is right next to her, and I'm like, wow.
Dude, I would not want to be that boyfriend. I know we talked
I'm
about
sorry.
this before.
Yeah, we talked about this whole thing. Oh, girls shouldn't wear this, or girls shouldn't wear that. Or how people are like, oh, you told your wife she can't wear that. Oh my goodness, you what are you, a controlling freak or whatever? No, I'm not. But no, I wouldn't want to be that guy. Why would I want to be that guy? All the horny nerds are looking at her and
you
taking
wouldn't want to
pictures.
parade your wife around in front of horny nerds where she wears only paint.
No.
You're telling me that's not like your dream convention experience.
No. Is it yours? So I'm not. You always hang me out to dry, and you never say your
Here's
opinion.
the twist.
Uh-huh.
I was the boyfriend. I was at Dragon Con that year.
Oh, wow. You weren't that good looking.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Dude, that cuts me deep. That cuts me deep, bro. Doesn't matter that I'm not good looking. I've got a naked girlfriend right next to me.
Yeah. The girl is good looking, but the guy, I don't know, man. He might. There's some really good looking nerds out there. I'm just saying.
Guys can't like wear only paint, really, can they? Because of like.
Yeah, they can.
Their donga.
Well,
really?
Oh, you mean like down there? No, they can't.
Yeah.
They can't do that. Now
you
that
could paint
would
it to be like an elephant.
Wow. We're going there, huh? Going
yeah,
there.
it's like it's body art, and the painting that is your body is like a landscape of the Serengeti or something. So like everywhere from like your junk up is like the sky and like hills and trees and stuff, and then lower down is like all the animals looking at you and like the elephants there.
I just realized what you were going for there, and now I'm a little disgusted. We're gonna move on with this conversation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay.
Anyways, we had a remix of visual. Well, it's a little bit of VisualWood and I guess a little bit of I was
going to ask you about this.
I think it's more Raven than VisualWood actually.
Well, I don't know. I was going to ask you though. Like a lot of the podcasts I listen to, like, do you want to play them a clip, or is that too much effort?
Maybe I'll play it. I'll play it in the beginning. And
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I swear I'm gonna leave a link. I swear I will leave a link in the description below. I swear. I'll play a little bit. I'll play a little bit at the beginning of the podcast so they know generally what we're saying, and then they can go watch it and then come back.
Okay.
But I got sent this on Twitter. He's like, "I'm sorry, Matt," and he gives me a link, and I'm like, I'm a little worried. I'm like, should I click this link or not? You know what I'm saying? I always check. If it's such a random thing, I always check to see if it's a bot or not. Because you ever get that when you send a text?
Yeah, on Twitter all the time.
So
then you try and click off, and it's like, oh, do you want to leave this webpage? Yes, I do. Do you want to leave the webpage? Yes, I do. It keeps going. But yeah, this wasn't that, right?
Yeah, I clicked it, and it's like, what is up, guys? What is up, guys? And I was like, what is this? And then it started going on, and then I'll hear my laugh like that when I do that.
That was a good impression of yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do the whole laugh thing. It's a natural thing. I can't just do it on the fly. Okay, I'm not an actor.
Oh, I thought every laugh you'd ever given ever was like completely fake and constructed.
Yeah, right.
Because you sound completely different when we're not recording.
Oh.
You sound like
really?
a Scottish dude. Yeah.
I'm just putting on this broken English American accent, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Broken. Very
broken. Very broken. And I'm a Scottish guy. No, I'm but yeah, like the remix was really good. I was a little weirded out, like before you scream, "You're not the Raven." Before you do that, after actually when the beat drops when you do that, and it has these all weird sounds, and then it smooths out, Raven, and there's all these mechanical sounds. I actually love it a lot more. It's
really
like good
surreal,
wine. It's like good wine. You keep playing it in your ear, and it becomes very good after a while.
How many times did you listen to it?
About 20.
Wow, that's more than me.
I listen, maybe not that much, but I listen to it at least every day, and every time I don't know. Like,
are you serious right now?
It makes me happy to listen to it. I don't know
why.
Oh,
you're such a soft. You listen to it every day.
Well, yeah. I haven't listened to it today because I was busy, but yeah, but pretty much every day since I got it, I think about it, and I listen to it. I like when fans send us stuff.
Oh my god, that's so sweet. Whoever sent that to you is buzzing right now. They're like hopping up and down. They're like, oh, this is amazing. It means so much to you. That's so cool.
I like fan stuff. I still kept the one where someone sent us a picture of Scarlett Johansson and a potato together. I still have that picture. I keep it in a folder of all fan stuff I get, even though
wasn't that a thumbnail?
Things. Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, I think it's a thumbnail. It was a picture. Pretty hilarious.
So look, you've listened to it a lot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Does it sound like you at this point? Because I listened to it a couple of times while I was like leveling or something. I was doing world completion, I think, and I don't know. It didn't sound like me in my ear. I was like, oh, this is some weird like song or whatever. But at one point, like, I knew it was me on some level, but on another level, it was just like, that wasn't me. Do you know what? Does that make any sense?
Most of your stuff was very like messed up with. Like you had "You're Not the Raven," where it kind of sounded like it was sped up a little bit, maybe, and then like to kind of go with the beat, and then when you say "Raven," I don't know, like you were always like in a weird voice, and then I never knew what you were saying when it was doing that auto-tune thing. It sounded like an auto-tune thing. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I don't even know what you were saying actually.
I think it was when we were talking about movies. I think it was a quote from me when I was talking about The Lion King, and I said, dude, there are some really good moments in it.
Oh, you also had that as well. But no, I'm talking about the auto-tune part. This is just another part where it skips a lot. And it sounds really cool. It sounds like when those Shamo guys remix a video. You know?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, like Sweet Brown and all that. Sweet Brown.
Amazing. Does Sweet Brown still watch
there's
our
a
videos?
fire. Huh?
We had Sweet Brown used to comment on our videos. Do you remember?
Yeah, he hated me.
He hated you?
Yeah, he hates me. Remember?
Isn't that like
That's one of those like I'm
against the bro code?
What do you mean against the bro code?
Well, because he's Sweet Brown and you're also.
We're not talking about bro code. We're talking about the black code, aren't we?
Oh, black code. Sorry, that's
He's
my
probably
mistake.
a white guy who likes Sweet Brown, and he put it on his picture.
Okay.
Right? So, you know, people they put black people on their profile pic, and they're saying some racist stuff.
You're much more likely to get a woman on the internet if you do that. I found out.
Really?
Yeah, I like
you're
Moonlight
black?
as a black dude online. Yeah.
Really?
Like, there's these chat rooms you can go on, and
Is it because
I have deducted
we're
it's-
well endowed? Is that the reason?
and also athletic and authoritative.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people on the internet are just looking for someone to protect them. And
Looking for
love.
love. I'm so
It's always a
lost without
disappointment
you.
when I turn up, but it's closer than like any other way. So
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely awesome. But anyways, I enjoyed You're Not the Raven. I mean, especially when you're screaming Raven.
it was great.
Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Also, step it up, WP people. I mean, Matt's fans always seem very creative and like they do a lot, and my guys are like
No, I think most of
judging people.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. You mean in the comments? Yeah. Your fans are very judgmental. Like it's the same thing. Like
Wow.
I didn't want to collab with Dante anymore for the same reason, because I think his fans, dude, are just so.
Whoa, look, no, you can't say this stuff. There's loads
Why?
of crossover.
Why?
It's just like, because there's like someone out there who likes everyone, and they're just happy.
Well,
and
yeah,
now you're
I'm
like,
pretty sure.
No.
There's a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. There's some people who watch Dante and me at the same time. I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying. Some of those fans who are only sub to him really, really like him, and they hate other people. I'm just saying. It's the same thing. Well, I was scared of that.
Generalizing.
I was scared of that when I came over to your channel, actually. I was like, and then I had Sweet Brown, who hated me. But
Oh,
yeah, that's
wow.
only one of the majority. I can't let these things affect me, or I'm going to be starting to grow gray hairs and pull out my hair.
You could hire me as staff to check your Twitter if you like.
Yeah, I can pay you 1 cent a day. 1 cent, dude. That's pretty.
A cent. That's American money, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite exciting.
Yeah. So in pounds.
Would you mail me? No. I would do it if you mailed me the cent. I don't have like any American currency.
It's gonna cost
I'd find
more
that
to
quite
mail the cent over.
Yeah, well, that's irrelevant. Do you want me to look at your Twitter or not?
I'll send to you over in PayPal. Can you even do that? Send 1 cent over. I got paid 3 cents for like an old network I used to be on.
Really?
Yeah, 3 cents, just like yesterday actually. 3
Wow,
cents.
that's amazing.
Wow. So anyways,
In the spirit of quite clearly delaying the podcast before we talk about Guild Wars 2 for longer, we're over double our previous record. Have you watched any movie? Have you watched any movies this past week?
No, we talked about Guild Wars 2 in the beginning, so it doesn't matter. Like
People are getting. All right, go on.
at this point, I think pretty much people know that. I mean, we just. Anyways,
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we talk about stuff. I've watched a lot of Psych. Hey, you know what Psych is?
No, tell me about Psych.
It's this guy who acts like he's a psychic, but he's not. And it's like a
Okay, that sounds
comedy.
pretty cool.
Yeah, he's very.
Oh, it's a comedy. Okay, never mind.
It's more of a comedy than anything else. But yeah, it's like basically a crime solving thing. But it's not like, but it's more based on comedy as well. But you like they find murderers and stuff like that, and they solve crimes through like his dad was very strict with him, right? And he taught him how to basically do deduction very well. Like he would close his eyes as a kid and
Are you talking about Dexter right now? Not
No,
Dexter.
no.
Not Dexter. Sherlock.
He would close his eyes. His dad would say, "Close your eyes," right? And he would close his eyes and he would say, "How many hats are in a room?" And this is when he was a child. And he would say every like detailed hat in the room, like randomly. And he wouldn't like it would be random. Like they went to get something to eat at a diner, and he would keep doing that to him and like teaching him stuff. And he was like really rough on him, and that's why this whole dynamic of him seeing like a flashback in the beginning of the episode of how what his dad did in this situation and stuff like that and blah blah blah, and like how he uses it nowadays. And even though he hates his dad, he still has this like respect for him that he's taught him to do this now. And his dad wanted him to become a police officer, but he decided to be like this, you know, kid that always plays around, always makes jokes and stuff like that. It's a really good show. And the reason why I love it so much is Gus. Well, I like all the characters. All the characters are great, but best black guy on TV. Hands down.
Wait,
Best
is this
black
Gus
guy.
Fring from Breaking Bad?
No, it is not.
Oh.
No, it is not. It's Gus. Is Gus Burton?
Okay, I
Burton
have no idea who
Gustard.
that
Sorry,
is.
Burton Gustard.
It sounds like, honestly, is this like an American show?
Yeah, it's an American show.
It sounds like some network was like, oh, look,
The
the
Mentalist.
BBC is producing friggin' Sherlock and it's doing really well.
No,
Let's do our own
it's
take
not the
on it.
same. It is absolutely.
Does he have
not
a
the same.
mind palace?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, damn it.
Well,
okay.
he thinks in his mind, yes, but he doesn't. Like he has like
thinks in his mind.
he has like
I
a-
think that's enough.
he has
for it
like
to be a rip-off.
a flashback. He has flashbacks and stuff. Not flashbacks, but he sees how it looks in his mind. Like he has a picture memory sometimes of certain stuff, and he could piece things together. But it's
Okay.
all jokes and stuff, and yeah, it's really good. But anyways, that's what I've been watching. We're not gonna talk about Psych for like 20 minutes. What have you been watching? Or
I tried to watch like 1 to 2, maybe 3 movies a week. Like, I don't know, just keep up with it. I only watched one this week. It was Thor: The Dark World.
oh, so did I. So did I.
Really? You saw it this week?
So did I. I thought it was okay. I don't like. I think it was trying to hold me over. It's trying to hold us over until Avengers. Really cool stuff. I really like Luther. Well, not Luther. His name is not Luther. I forgot his name. I know his name, but I
Loki.
forgot his name. No, well, of course Loki's awesome, but I'm talking about the Gatekeeper. He plays.
Oh yeah, you talked to me about him.
Yeah.
Because we watched another movie, didn't we?
Prometheus.
And the Gatekeeper.
He was in Prometheus as well. He was also in Daddy's Little Girls. He was also in a couple other movies. A lot of movies. And
The
he was,
Gatekeeper was in something really recent that we watched, and you were like, "Oh yeah, that's the Gatekeeper from Thor," and I was like, "Oh, is it?"
yeah.
We were talking about it. It
Okay.
might have even been on a podcast. I don't think it was.
I don't remember. But yeah, he's been in quite a lot.
He was pretty cool in this, though. He actually did stuff in this movie. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. But
I'd like to report treason. Whose treason? Mine. That was a cool
dude,
moment.
it was awesome when he took down that ship. Like it was like, oh, dude, yes, I love you, I love you.
All right, not to be negative. Not to be negative.
It wasn't that
5
good.
out of 10? 5 out of 10, maybe?
I could have gone
Somewhere
without
around
seeing
there?
it. I could have gone without seeing it. I don't know. Like it felt like the girl was there in situations. Why? Like why did she have to get affected? Like she was there just
Oh
to be
no,
there.
I thought that was no. I thought that was good though, because superhero movies have got this really dumb thing, and it happened in the Avengers, where it's like the origin story always sets up this dumb love interest story, and they get the girl in the end. It's not even just superhero movies; it's movies in general. And then they do a sequel, and it's like, oh yeah, we're not interested in, like, because there's no pursuit of a woman anymore, all of a sudden it's far less exciting, so they just do away with the significant others. And like, you look at the Avengers, it's like, oh, generic reason number 1, why this female, isn't it? Generic reason number 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually kind of liked that on Thor: The Dark World, they had the significant other, the love interest, be such a huge part of the story and actually be a character on her own. I actually thought that was something that they did really well. Like, it's so known that, like, okay, have you ever seen Austin Powers? One of the
Yeah, of
greatest
course.
jokes. Okay, so the first one, it's all about, oh yeah, we're meeting up with this girl or whatever, the girl's in it. And then the second one starts immediately, and it's like, oh, as with all these stories ever do, it's how do we quickest discard this woman? Do we just do we just accept that she was never there at all? Or do we do something like Born Identity, okay? The Born, whatever, the Born
Oh
series,
my
right?
gosh, yes.
Yeah,
What
they all
was
do it.
That
They
I
all
was
do it, dude.
shocked when that happened. I was like, no, like, can we say it? Can we say it?
Yeah, it's old enough. Go on. Spoilers for the Born friggin'
For the first
whatever.
5 minutes. First 5 minutes. The girl
Yeah.
gets shot in the head. Dead.
This like huge part of the plot from the first movie, and that's it's such an easy way out. It's because the writer's like, right, well, we can kill it off, and this is a chance for our character, our hero, to become emo and or lose his powers and or lose his life, and then like he has character development, and at the same time we can introduce a new love interest, and it's
Why
gonna
does
be
it have to
brilliant.
be a girl though? Like they make girls like all like flimsy and disposable. I like
Well, 'cause
I
they're
like
always-
a strong freaking woman like that could handle her own. I don't like this damsel in distress crap. And that's what they do, and I just hate that. I don't hate
Well,
it,
you
but
were
I
just
just don't
saying you
like
didn't like
it.
Thor. It was okay in Thor because she like was doing the research
Dude,
on her own and stuff.
I
Mind you, yeah, she was a bit of
guess.
an object. Later on, she was a bit of an object. She was reduced to that. It was like, okay, we need this woman character to be in it, but we don't really have a compelling reason for her to want to do it on her own. So we're just going to inject her with the ether. And now it's the ether we care about. And it just happens to be attached to her. And this is why she's in the story.
That is so
much.
convenient. I hate convenience so much. I see that sometimes in anime. It's like, why is this so convenient? Why?
That's why Austin Powers was so good, because then when the second movie came out, they had the love interest come back, and just like with the Bourne Identity or whatever, in the first 5 minutes they get rid of her, but the reason why they get rid of her is because, oh no, she was a robot the whole time, and then like she just dies because he has to shoot her because she was a robot. Like, it just completely discredits the previous film, and they embrace it in Austin Powers, and that's why it was such a good joke. But yeah,
gosh.
I thought Thor did okay, and she's still alive, so whatever.
Just a couple of things, good shows that I like with a strong woman is Castle and Psych as well. So just in case you want to know what I was thinking. And also Convenience, Summer Wars was very convenient anime. Very convenient. But it was a good anime, but it was convenient. It was a movie. I just want to point that out there. So
people like, will appreciate it.
I hate when I listen to stuff and people don't finish their thoughts. They're like, oh my gosh, what was the anime you're talking about? Yeah. Anyways, those are the ones that came to my head. So there you go.
Okay. So 50 minutes, 20 seconds in. Do you want to start with the bongs?
The bongs. Oh, I got
No, that's for later. Look.
I'm just getting it. I'm just getting it ready.
Look.
I'm just getting it ready.
You're gonna get to a point.
From me.
You're gonna get to a point where you're editing this, okay? And you're gonna hear me talking to you right now. Hello, future Matt. When this happens, this is my reminder. You need to call me. We need to talk about the bongs and the bells and when they are used. Antler is later with the questions. Yeah. For now,
I was never the one. I was saying that was the last question, though. You were saying that it's we have to have both.
Look, I don't want to argue in front of the kids.
Listen. You know what? Fine. We talk later. Talk later.
Okay. All right. Now smile at your daughter and move on.
Yeah, I feel like I need to take off my pants. I never wear pants when I'm recording this. It's hot.
What the hell is this?
It's not. It's hot.
What do you mean it's hot? It's the
hot.
winter months.
Dude, come on. The reason why we do this is to be at our job with no pants on. Come on now.
I am always fully dressed.
Right?
In a suit and tie.
Oh, so face cam?
I'm actually looking pretty sloppy right now. Also, yeah, so that people know, Matt randomly got everyone's hopes up on Twitter the other day. He was like, oh yeah, WP's going to do a face cam. And I had all these people like leaving these messages. Just randomly woke up to it. It was the most random thing you've ever done. And I was like, what is going on here? Jesus, thank you for that. All right, look, so, bong. I had a bit of an update on a discussion that we were having about Guild Wars 2 last week. Do you remember when we talked about the PvP quip? You do? What were we talking about?
About it being in PvP.
Yeah. So like there was this guy who had quip randomly. It was like, but not like fake or anything. He has the real quip in PvP, and it was like, how is this possible? What happened? Because we talked about in the last podcast, someone who was like in a guild with him or something at some point knew the full story and told me. I thought I'd share it with everyone else because it sounded pretty interesting. You know how there's a Mystic Forge in the Heart of the Mist?
Yeah.
Apparently, he made his quip with the Heart of the Mist, just so like he did all the PvE stuff, and he just crafted a legendary weapon, right? But the trick was he crafted it at the Mystic Forge in PvP, and then like he equipped that quip from within the Heart of the Mist, like right then and there. And because he equipped it in the Heart of the Mists, like it made it a PvP only weapon, and he could never use it out in PvE anymore. Like, so it was like locked in. It was this really weird, unique, never to have existed before item that like just was there. So he was like, oh damn it, I play PvE mostly. I don't want this. I want it in PvE. So he sent a support ticket to ArenaNet explaining what happened. By the way, like ArenaNet seem pretty good with support tickets. Usually people do a lot of dumb stuff and they're like, hey, yeah, we'll help you out. But he sent them a support ticket, and apparently they were like, "Oh yeah, Dan, that's a real shame. We're sorry that this happened." And then they like made it like a legit PvP quip or whatever, and at the same time gave him a real regular quip. So he has 2 quips. He's got a PvP quip and a regular quip, and his PvP quip is the only one in existence ever. And this only happened a couple of months ago, and I don't know whether it's been patched or what, but it's possible that you might still be able to get a legendary if you risk it by doing exactly what that guy did in PvP. And that's how he got quip, apparently.
I'm not going to risk that. I'm straight. It took me 6 months to get my legendary. I'm straight.
I'm working on a new legendary as well. Did I tell you that?
Really?
Yeah.
All that
I've
farming
decided
that you're doing with the worm must be giving you lots of money and rewards.
Look, what's the sarcasm for?
I'm just saying, right? It should give you a lot of rewards. You've been farming that worm.
If we kill it, we get rewards. If we kill it, I get like
you
my
should be
smelly
rolling in the cash now. Oh, because those rewards are so good.
I feel like I don't know.
What? What's going on?
I feel like you're breaking my heart a little bit. Just a little bit.
Breaking my heart. Say you love me again.
But yeah, I'm going for the minstrel. 3rd out of 5 legendaries. My eventual goal is to get every single legendary weapon for the elementalist, because they're not a class that has many weapons anyway. So I'm like, hell yeah, this is the goal. So I'm doing pretty well with it now as well. The bard's pretty cheap too, so I bought the precursor, and I'm just sort of grinding away. It's pretty good, and maybe I'll try the PvP thing. That'd be pretty awesome. But they're like changing PvP rewards as well. Bong! Oh, what a segue!
What?
So they did a blog post. Did you see the blog
No, I
post
didn't
about
see
what's
the
happening
blog
with
post. Linky?
Well, I don't know. On the very live stream we were on, where we participated in this tournament, Ready Up. I do very much recommend it to people, by the way. It's a pretty good live stream. They talked about, there wasn't much news or much real information in there, but they did talk about the fact that on March 18th, this is when you will no longer be able to acquire glory in PvP. This was a change that was stated to eventually happen a long time ago now. This is its final implementation. You can no longer gain glory after March 18th, so use your glory boosters now, get that stuff going.
Oh, wow.
But you can still spend the glory. You can still spend your glory until like the patch after that. So glory gain is being removed, and that's like phase 1, and then eventually it's going to go on further than that. And also what they're doing is with this update is all like those random chests you get from PvP, you know, like where you rank up and it's like, here, open this, and you get a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
That's all being removed. I think though, you know when you get like achievement points?
Yeah.
You know that it always gives you like a PvP chest, and it's like, oh, you got this, and this,
Yeah.
and it's always skins that you've already had. I bet, unless like they listen to this maybe or something, but I bet you that they remove all like the random chests and stuff, but they forget about the achievement chest ones, and I bet you still get random PvP stuff just from getting extra achievement points. So when you hit those extra tiers, maybe they'll think about it, but it's such like an obscure place to get them. I think they'll probably forget. But apparently, like, so you won't be able to fill up your locker anymore, basically, after this happens. But the locker is still important, and they are still saying to people, don't stop filling up your locker, because we'll get a PvE locker. What do you think about that?
Sounds pretty good. I can't wait, actually, to actually have that. Hopefully, we can have multiple skins in there. But
do you not believe me?
68,000 gems.
68,000 what, for the PvE locker?
No, for the Missipedia.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
That's a lot of gems, dude. That's a lot of gems.
Yeah, I don't think it all goes to the winning team. I think it's like a pool of gems. Like, so guys, there's these people setting up tournaments in PvP, and ArenaNet give them gems as incentive rewards for people to play. There are 68, did you just say, 1,000 gems up for grabs. But it's not like they're going to run one tournament and be like, it's a 68,000 gem prize. That would be amazing. But you'd still have to split that 5 ways amongst your team members. But yeah, no, so they've got like all these gems. So it is a good time to get into PvP, because there is like big rewards coming.
All right.
That's that one. That's PvP. Bong. Did you so a little bit of stuff about the gem store? You see the new finisher as well? That was on the live stream as well, I guess. Ooh. It's like an Ascalon finisher. I don't know, it's kind of meh. Did you get any Valentine's Day stuff?
No, I didn't get anything. I got that free stuff though. That free book.
Did you get anything from your wife, IRL? I was going to ask earlier, I forgot.
Oh yeah, I took her out to this nice
right,
wood fireplace. Oh my gosh, dude. The wings there is so good. It's all put in a wood fire. I think I told you. we put everything inside of this like wood-fired furnace, and they cook all their like meat in there, ribs and stuff, and it's like fantastic.
Oh, I do remember you talking about ribs now. Actually, yeah. Did she enjoy it though?
It was for her. Dang it! She wanted. She likes to be.
Yeah,
taken
but it
somewhere
sounds to
nice.
me like you just wanted to go out somewhere for some good wings and things, and you were like, all right.
No. She's the one who likes wings. That's where I took. That's why I took it to her there, and she basically says those are the best wings in the world. So I did good.
You can now get Valentine's chocolates in game. You can get the bouquet of roses back. The chocolates, by the way, like they're really cool. I wasn't going to buy them myself, but as I say, someone gifted them to me. Like you can like shrink yourself down to like be smaller than some mini pets. Like I've got a mini Mr. Sparkles, and I can shrink my giant Norn down to be smaller than mini Mr. Sparkles.
Wow.
It's amazing. And then there's another mode which makes you bigger than you usually are as well. So I can make my already max size Norn humongous without having to waste money on those like growth tonic things. It's brilliant.
And your finisher
It's the best
is big
thing
too,
to
right?
stand out. Yeah, I guess it would scale your finisher as well. Not as much as like using a spider tonic or something, but yeah, it would.
Can you imagine the worm finisher
With the spider tonic, yeah, that's the thing, because like some of them you can do because you can type /rank, but you can't stomp someone in a spider tonic, or can you? Whoa, my God, you've just blown my mind. What if you like double click the tonic mid stomp? Wouldn't that make your finisher huge?
I'm gonna try it. We're gonna try it now.
Oh my God, that would make the worm. Yeah, the worm finisher would be like insane. Nice sound effect there. That was good.
Yeah, man. That's the sound of the worm eating the poor soul in the ground and sucking it up like a piece of garbage.
I've got one more topic as well. It's about Timey, but do you have you had a few, did you? Or did we already go through them?
We already went through them. And plus Lion's Arch is going to get blown up, so that's always good.
Oh, all right. We'll do Timey first, and then we'll talk about Lion's Arch, yeah? Because that's like a big one. Yeah, so there was a live stream as well before the PvP live stream. I haven't actually watched this. This is just some stuff I know that happens in it from someone who posted like an abridged version. But basically, they did a live stream talking about Timey, the new... You quite liked Timey, didn't you?
Yeah,
You liked the voice
I did.
actress and stuff.
Yeah.
And do you remember I told you that her name meant like sapling, I think her name was?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Scarlet Briar was like Briar or whatever, Thorns, you know. It was like, oh, is she maybe something to do with Scarlet? Apparently, that's a complete coincidence. Timey is actually named after a friend of one of the devs, I can't remember anymore, who died, apparently, presumably quite recently. So they named Timey like in their memory, which I thought was quite sweet. But it does mean that lore
And
thing
there goes that
means
dark
nothing.
turn again.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We didn't know that person. Did we? A friend of a dev of the game you play died. I mean, who's going to get cut up about that? Let's be perfectly honest. But it is sad. It is sad, okay. But yeah, that's where her name comes from. And apparently it's like little more than a coincidence there. I think Timey is such a weird name, though. Like, I don't know. I feel like... do you guys all have like weird names in the States or something? I feel like I know what normal names are. And especially with ArenaNet, it's like, oh, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. Or I'm blah, blah, blah. Or this is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, these are names? Like... I don't know, is that insulting to say? But it's like,
a little bit.
I feel like a lot of people have first names that I would usually think are second names.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that.
You know?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Well,
Like, you've got a pretty normal name.
for that reminds me of last night we were in the vent, and I was asking, I was like, is Allie a girl? And Allie is a girl, dude.
Don't say that on the podcast.
No, because
Oh my
her
God.
name was Allie, and I was like, that's a girl's name, right? But you know, so I've met a guy named Gabrielle, so I don't know.
Yeah, what's that other one as well?
I don't
There's
know.
like another...
Because a guy was talking out of her vent, and I was like, holy crap! Good thing I didn't say anything that she was a girl, but she is a girl, so whatever.
I feel like if you had a name like that, you probably go through a lot of life people thinking that you are, you know, getting the mistake made constantly.
And they'll see like your resume, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hire this girl. Has all the qualifications, and then you go in, and then like, oh, I'm looking for Gabrielle Sanchez, and yeah, I'm Gabrielle Sanchez.
I think you would be a very corrupt small business owner. Like, you would hire people for all the wrong reasons.
What are you talking about? I'm not gonna. What, I'm not saying me. I'm not saying I would hire only girls. That's not what I'm saying. Wait, don't get all silent now.
One second.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, just leave it with me being quiet. There will be a perfect place to cut it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah.
Do you wanna keep talking about that, or should we go on to the next topic?
Yeah, we should go on to the next topic then.
Okay.
Lion
well, actually,
that's gonna get destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have you ever been approached by ArenaNet to do like the trailers?
Oh, yeah, the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lion's Arch, the place where everyone AFKs, is now gonna be destroyed. Where will you AFK? Would you go to Divinity's Reach? Would you go to Or?
Or why would you? What, Fort Trinity?
Yeah, just to
Go
sit
AFK
out.
at Fort Trinity.
Yeah, and just sit there and look at the dead landscape that are just constantly boring. Huh?
I actually predict that after the patch, more people will be at Fort Trinity, because there was an article from Massively that said, at least while the patch is going on, that all the services of Lion's Arch, while it's being under attack and everything's going on next patch, will be moved to the Vigil Keep, and the Vigil Keep has a direct portal to Fort Trinity.
Ooh.
So my prediction here is that people will be AFKing around the Vigil Keep and so forth, and every now and then a few of them will go through that portal, and maybe even start pushing that whole like Straits of Devastation chain, and you might see a lot more Balthazars get killed, just because everyone's there a little bit more. Prediction. That's it. I'm sticking by it. We'll talk about it in the next podcast, see whether anyone's done it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what's going to happen.
Pretty sure.
But what do you remember? I mean, we were told about this attack like a while ago, weren't we? When we spoke to the devs, we were told about it.
Yeah.
What do you remember about what they said though? What happened with this patch? Because I got to be honest, I'm a little bit hazy with it, with what's coming up.
Oh, can we talk about it? I guess, right?
Maybe in some detail, I guess.
Well, basically they told us that Lion's Arch, was going to get attacked, and it's going to become a place where you're going to have to fight, and it's not going to be like, like you're in town and you have no danger towards you're actually going to be in danger at the town. So that's why everything is moved to the Vigil Keep. So this will be a map just like everything else. So I'm wondering how that would work.
Yeah, like here's the thing, right? What Matt said is completely true, but like it's for the patch. This is true. It's an area with a fight, and you're going to be there trying to defend Lion's Arch and stuff for the patch. But the question is, what are they doing after the patch? Is Lion's Arch going to be rebuilt and happy again, and we can go and AFK there again, or is it being completely removed? I remember when we had that meeting. I don't know if you remember, I specifically said to them, "Oh, what's going to happen after this? Then is it going to be like a place that's like totally destroyed?" And like we didn't get an answer. Like, so I really have no idea what is coming up after this. Like,
all I know, there's gonna be a lot of dead people where the bank used to be. Okay, people are gonna be logging in after a while, or didn't know the patch was coming out, and just log in, go get something to eat, come back, and they're gonna see their character dead. I'm guarantee you, there's gonna be a lot of dead people in Lion's Arch just sitting there AFK.
No, dude, it will be like like if you stayed in like the Mad King's Labyrinth or something for Halloween, and then you get kicked out. Like, because
they might put you in a living story like they did Cassex Hills.
Yeah. They'll either put you in like a cutscene, or they'll just throw you out to the Vigil Keep and be like, right, okay, you can't go in there. Like, and that'll be the way it works. I'm sure they won't just have people, their bodies.
Let people die.
All right, well they'll be dead, but also at Vigil Keep. They wake up in like a medical bed, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And like at the start of when you make a human, yeah, and then may Dwayna's blessings be on you, and then you're like, "Oh, priestess of Dwayna, tell me what's happening." And he's like, "Oh, everything's been destroyed in Lion's Arch. You've been unconscious for 3 weeks."
Oh my God! Did anyone come to see me? Because I'm so needy.
Yeah. And then Lord Farron saunters in. He says, "I will save you." And that's that, and then like it cuts to black and the credits roll.
Oh my
God!
God!
The end of season 1.
I don't want to go see the scout to do a heart. I don't want to feed cows. I don't want to do the harpy mission. I don't want to pick and fight with the spiders and the archers. Oh, you were supposed to cut me off somewhere between there. And not make it awkward.
I just thought, I was fascinated. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, that's what you do in the beginning.
How far you could go. This is your interpretation of the beginning of Guild Wars 2. Oh, I'm getting some new weapon skills. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I made a human engineer, so I had to go through that. Even though it's one of my favorite areas, after doing it for the 20th time, you kind of get about it, and you don't feel like doing it anymore.
I'm genuinely curious. What is your take on what should happen to Lion's Arch? Should it be fully destroyed, or should it come back as it is?
Destroy it. So no one.
Seriously?
Okay. I think it's a good thing if they do decide to destroy and make it permanent that it's destroyed. There's good things and bad things about it. Good things is that this is where people kind of talk in map chat. When you want to talk to people and socialize, you go to Lion's Arch, right? And you socialize with people. And that's where you see the bulk of everyone. And I don't know how the Visual Keep is gonna handle like all the lag. And if I think Visual Keep might not be an instance, and Lion's Arch is already laggy as it is, so I don't see how it's gonna be a map and being zerged on.
Oh.
And
do you know how cool it would be? What if they move? Yeah, they're saying like, it's going to move to the Visual Keep. I haven't actually read the Massively article, so it probably states exactly against what I'm about to say. But wouldn't it be cool if instead of just bunging all the stuff outside the keep, it was actually inside the keep, and it wasn't like an instance anymore. It was like you go inside the keep and it's like the whole server's there, like you see the 150 people or whatever, and all those all the like the small rooms and doorways that were previously closed in the Visual Keep are now open up, and you get to explore much deeper into the mountainside and up all the turrets and stuff. Because I always loved that about the Visual Keep. I was like, oh man, there's so many rooms here, but you could never go inside. What a great opportunity this would be to actually open that stuff up and be like, yeah,
that'd be cool if there's like a high point that you can watch the whole battle from. Like, can you imagine like seeing the whole battle from like a high peak at the Visual Keep? That would be pretty cool. I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, Lion's Arch should be quite far, but yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I would like that, but I'm sure they'll just bung all the stuff to the side. What you said about like the community thing. Here's one of the reasons I feel like ArenaNet might not do it. There are many reasons why they might not do it, but it's that they would be scared with no centralized hub. Everyone's going to get split up all over the place, and it will feel like it's more of a wasteland.
Yeah.
But I heard one nice suggestion that was you kill Lion's Arch, whatever, and then everybody splits to all the home cities, but you combine like the map chat of all the major cities into one.
Right, yeah,
so if you talk in map chat, you're like, hey, does anybody want to buy my ghastly grinning shield or whatever? And then you're in Divinity's Reach, but someone in the Black Citadel hears you, and then and in that way there's still a lot of chat and stuff going on, even though you're over all these different areas.
Or add like just like a world chat or a town chat. Like don't
town chat, yeah.
Mapping it to just the map, and then because people want to hear just only the map, so I just add like a town chat for everyone, and you can just turn that on
in the towns.
Yeah, for all the towns put together. So that'd be quite.
That'd be
interesting.
such a good idea.
Yeah. Or
I'd love to see
I would love to see like a world chat as well, but that would just be flooded with like people just doing stupid stuff.
Bots as well.
Yeah, because people don't know how to manage that. I don't know, like if you don't pay for something like to use that, then you get a lot of random crap going on. Not only bots, but a lot of like spam as well.
Other I've always been curious. The Guild Wars 1 was like this as well. A lot of MMOs like are quite heavy on like this whole admin idea. Like you empower certain members of the community to be admins, and then they are like moderators in game. And they mod chat and they watch stuff like that, and they have certain abilities. You don't really see that with Guild Wars 2. There is no like in-game admin kind of thing. Like you've got the devs that are sometimes playing, and the devs do certainly have capabilities. Oh, did I tell you that at Worm we had a dev like Ogre Pet Whistles? Which you can double click and you get a random pet with you. We were doing Worm, and we wanted Ogre Pet Whistles to help boost our DPS, but on Blackgate the Ogre Pet Whistle NPC was bugged, so the dev went to fix it for us, which is basically a part of their job, I would assume.
Yeah.
But like someone was watching him fix it, and apparently like he turned into like a bear or something so that he could give himself the powers, and he was like a suspicious bear. I think that's what it was. Like really weird. And I've heard that in other MMOs as well, you see other devs do stuff like that. Like they turn themselves into trees and things, and then that's when they have access to, dev stuff. Really, really weird.
Wow.
But you don't see it in Guild Wars 2, and I think if you had like a full world chat, you would need someone to monitor chat in that way and stop people constantly spitting out slurs and just generally damaging things. But yeah, world chat or server chat or something like that would be pretty interesting. But anyway, that's one solution to the like community idea. Well, do you like the idea of like leaving Lion's Arch and checking out the other cities and being encouraged to go to them, or do you think that it wouldn't matter to
I
you?
think I'm more leaning towards yes. I think that it should destroy Lion's Arch and get people moving out of it. On the other hand, it's just like, oh, it's splitting up the community and stuff like that. But like I think I like drastic change like this. Hopefully they make the other towns better, or make another town that could be like really good for a hub or something like that. Because I like how Lion's Arch is set up compared to the other places. And the reason why
no, don't say that. Divinity's Reach is way better than Lion's Arch.
Really, it has everything in one spot.
Yeah. Except a Mystic Forge. It's all there, way closer to one another. Think about it. The bank's there, the trading post is there. I mentioned this in one of my videos. Yeah, everything's there, except if you have a Mystic Forge conduit and you don't care about community, Divinity's Reach is the absolute perfect place that you should always go every time.
Yeah, but it's too big. It's too big, though.
No, it's not. It's all there in a tiny little area. All of it. Retrators are closer.
It's big, though.
Armor,
like,
weapon.
The whole town, like that. Lion's Arch is so small.
Lion's Arch isn't necessarily
and it has like a bunch of
smaller
jumping
than
puzzles
Divinity's
there
Reach.
that you can do well, you can't do it daily anymore for your monthly, but it's just so convenient. Everything's there at Lion's Arch. Everyone's there, and then it's smaller, congested with people and stuff like that. I don't know.
I never liked that about Lion's Arch, that it forced everyone to be like in this tiny, tiny little area. I mean, a pessimistic view would be like, oh yeah, Lion's Arch get destroyed. Okay, then everyone's just at Divinity's Reach in a tiny little area. What's the difference overall? But I think it's a little bit of an incentive. One person, actually not one person, quite a few people had an interesting argument to me that they don't like the idea of Lion's Arch getting destroyed because they don't like that they wouldn't have a say in it. They feel like it's an RPG. Yeah, they feel like it's an RPG, so you can't destroy something because a big part of their enjoyment.
That's why you don't tell
RPG.
anyone. That's why you don't tell anyone. You don't say that it's gonna get destroyed. It just happens. You log in one day
wouldn't like that.
and
They'd
then
still complain,
boom, destroyed.
Yeah, people would hate that though. They'd hate that. These people don't like that because they're like, oh, it's an RPG. Shouldn't I be able to stop it from getting destroyed?
Well, yeah, I can understand that part. But
I think it's sort of I agree with it, but isn't that more like talking about, okay, the living world doesn't give us as much options? Do you know what I mean? Like, all of living world, we've never had the option to do anything.
To be honest, it's an MMO. Come on. It's an MMO. Like, since when do you have the choice of anything in an MMO? I mean, yes, people, they, listen to the community and stuff for stuff, but, like, if you want that type of stuff where you have choice, you play a game like Mass Effect or any of those games or single-player experience. When it comes down to MMO, you're not gonna get that type of stuff because it's all live. It's it's not.
Well, and that's one strength of the living world. Like with the Ellen Keel, and Evan Nashblade, we did have the choice there. It just wasn't an individual person's choice; it was the whole community's choice. But there was choice, and maybe the living world can eventually do that. But I agree with you. I think you're right. I think do destroy Lion's Arch. That's not a good enough reason for me to not.
Something needs to change.
Want to see it changed.
Something needs to change, though. Obviously, we're gonna win. Well, we're gonna lose. They're gonna make the fight too hard, and then Lion's Arch gets destroyed.
Yeah, I think loss is important too. Like in the personal story, we all had a personal character that was supposed to be close to us die. We had never had any choice in that, but that doesn't mean it was a bad part of the story. Sometimes you have to have loss so that the overall arc is more compelling. So yeah, I think I'm
But
totally
based
for
on your
it, but-
choices, that should have happened. That's the random person that should have died. Based on choices and stuff like that, and it would have changed, and not a set path of 2 questions got you this outcome. It's like no.
What was I going to
But
say?
it is an MMO, so you can't really do a spider web of a story.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? If they do completely destroy Lion's Arch, how are they going to deal with number 1 surrogates?
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they destroy Lion's Arch, I feel like they have to replace it with something. They should put. Do
you not think that there could just be a surrogates between all cities? So there's an Asura gate from the Grove that takes you directly to Holbrack, for example.
And all the cities just have all of them?
Yeah, all cities have 5 Asura gates, or 6 in terms of Divinity's Reach, because it's already got an extra.
That'd be
one for
cool if,
everyone.
like, right now you see, like, them building that. Like, right now in all the cities. Like, you see, like, little people, like, Chars and Azura.
Well, yeah, after the update, yeah. It wouldn't make sense for them to be doing it right now. But after Lion's Arch got destroyed, yeah, that'd be really cool. You see it all getting built up. But that's the solution to it, right? So a lot of people are naysaying and they're like, oh, they can't because of all the Asura gates. Well, is it really that hard to just make connections elsewhere?
To be honest, I don't use
them. The world would have to react.
I don't use them, so.
Yeah, but people do use them. And the point is that the game was like sold on one core thing about how it doesn't matter what race you pick, you should be able to play with your friend instantly, and that is one of the core pillars that they sort of sell the game on. So they need to maintain that, I feel, which is important. But they can easily do that by just changing the way that the gates are linked. Like, it's not a big deal. It's fine.
But you have to tell someone that they can do that. You don't know for sure. You have to tell someone, hey, guess what? You can go to Lion's Arch to go to those Azura gates. Someone has to tell them.
Yeah, but it's like a feature. Yeah, I know. But it's still a feature that is true about the game that people might buy the game on. Because other MMOs can be really quite strict about, oh, you picked a different race, you don't get to see each other for like 2 weeks of gameplay.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls is like that. And guess what?
It?
If you pay an extra $1 billion, you get a race that you can pick at any alliance. And you can play with your friends. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You know, it's so weird to me. So many people are excited about ESO, and I see it on a base superficial level. I'm like, yeah, okay, there's cool stuff about this game. But even the remotest, slightest bit of enthusiasm for that game that comes from me is stifled out and can never flare into anything real just because of the subscription fee, let alone the box fee, the cash shop, and then all like this collector's edition stuff. Yeah, like, I can't, it's just like, oh, it's got a sub fee, nothing, like, dead inside.
For me,
no
I wouldn't mind
whatsoever.
paying a sub fee for a game that I really enjoy, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's for me, but I wouldn't, like, I'm not going to pay a sub fee for ESO.
You don't need to spend that money, dude.
I'm not going to pay, I'm not going to pay for ESO, I'm not going to pay for WildStar, because, like, it's like, I played them both, and they're interesting to me, and I really like ESO. I like the ESO the same reason why I like SWTOR, the story. I like going and getting all the quests. The combat is not that interesting to me. Maybe I should have played a Dragon Knight that has like that. He has like this come over here type of grab thing, and that looks
I've seen that.
So awesome. But like other than that, like I don't know. Like in the beginning levels, the combat is not fun, especially the spell casting. Like it was just like so uneventful. It's like wow, this is it. Okay. But the story,
I heard it was a lot of running around.
Well, yeah, that's what pretty much MMOs are. Is a lot of running around, and that's it. And that's the thing. I feel like, I guess I feel like I need something different. I may be by myself at this, but I think EverQuest Next is like something different. I know it's not.
It's also a long way off.
It's not. Yeah, it's a long way off. I don't think it's gonna be like the best thing ever. I just think I'm interested in it, other than ESO and WildStar, because WildStar and ESO seem kind of the same thing. It's like, these games are in development years ago, right? This is back then when WoW is still like the king, and a lot of games who are kind of the same looking way are being developed at the same time. So they're developing these MMOs way back when WoW was a thing, and now when they're coming out, everyone's ready to play something else, and they're still coming out with WoW. And that's what happened in SWTOR. I'm not saying that these things are WoW clones, because I haven't played WoW that much for me to even say that, but I'm just saying they have that same type of formula to it. The skill.
Everyone's saying like WildStar. They're like, oh, WildStar will be successful because it's WoW 2.0. But there was another game. Was it Rift? Like Rift as well. Isn't it exactly the same? Like the community view generally how that MMO is. They're like, it's WoW, but it does WoW better than WoW does. And it's like, okay, so ESO is WoW 3.0, really. Sorry, WildStar is WoW 3.0, or it's like, okay, it's Rift but with sci-fi themes. And I don't know. I don't feel like it's a big enough deviation. Yeah. But yeah, like with the subscription fee thing, man, I can't abide it, because you don't need to spend that money. They're literally shilling money out of you for no other reason than they're forcing you to. And it's like this sort of disgraceful monopolistic mentality that a lot of people get crazy excited, and for me, it's just like, no, you don't do it. It's weird.
Yeah,
I'm not really
it's
someone
just
that
another
believes
MMO to
principles.
me. Really, like I've come to the point. It's just like I never get excited for stuff. You know, I enjoyed Guild Wars 2, and I was excited for it. You know, I enjoy it to a point, but I'm not. It's not gonna be like. I'm not gonna be like, okay, if it doesn't have. When I go from Guild Wars 2 to another game, and I'm like, if it doesn't have like certain things that I've gotten accustomed to with Guild Wars 2, it's I get kind of cringy, and I'm like, eh. So it has to be something totally different. Like EverQuest, like the reason why I'm interested in it, and I know nothing about the combat. I know nothing about anything of those things. But for what I see that Landmark, you get to build your own places. And that adds a whole nother like player user generated world type of feeling. And then like it's all voxels, so enemies can like destroy buildings and stuff like that. So I see like a total different gameplay style when it comes down to EverQuest Next, and I don't even think of it as an MMO. I really think of it as just another game that I'm interested in playing. That's like MMO's type of style, just like Star Citizen, right? You don't really think of Star Citizen as an MMO. Like I don't, like people call it that, but I was like, it's like a space game. It's gonna be like Eve, but you know, like high. You know, Eve has high graphics, but you know, like very, you know, you have your crew and stuff like that, and hopefully you can have like some co-op on the when you're on the ship and stuff like that. But like, and also No Man's Sky, I think it's called. Also,
yeah, that's like that crazy one that released a trailer that just looks like unbelievable to me.
Just totally different gameplay from the MMO genre. Like I can't play another MMO anymore. I think Guild Wars 2 is where I'm ending that. I will play WildStar and ESO depending on how I feel about it when it's launching, but I don't know if I'll be paying subscription fee. I don't know if I want to be spending my time on that when I could be playing other things.
Yeah,
you know, and that's
I'm
that's the reality
No
of
Man's
it.
Sky right
like,
now.
Is it worth to spend the money for the time that I'm gonna put into the game? Will it be giving me that much enjoyment? And you know, you got to really think about MMOs as MMOs. MMOs, the amount of time that you put in is not the amount of like quality content that you're getting. You know what I'm saying? If you play a single player game compared to an MMO, so if you woke up one day and like, should I play an MMO or should I play a single player game? You're probably going to get the best quality enjoyment out of something, a single player game, than you have an MMO. What you going to do in an MMO? Sometimes you will AFK, or you'll run a couple dungeons, or
yeah, but MMO is about the community. It's a different type of fun.
It's a different type, exactly. And what I'm saying is, if you're already planted in an MMO, if you already enjoy Guild Wars 2, like, you can't just jump on another MMO. It's just gonna be the same thing. I mean, it depends on what you like about the game. But yeah, anyways, yeah.
And where you end up,
Yeah, so
I completely agree. We got there from Lion's Arch, but
we always
not
ended up
sure.
talking about a variety of things, don't we? Oh my god.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Lion's Arch is getting destroyed. I'm an advocate for it staying destroyed. Some people do have real reasons why maybe it shouldn't be. I was gonna bring up one thing about it. Like, there are other complications. Fractals, people mention. They're like, oh, what about fractals? And people seem to just not comprehend that could just be moved, you know, like, and it wouldn't break the law or anything. It can just be moved. There's but another much, much bigger thing that's probably been holding the living world back for a long time is personal story. Let's say they completely destroy Lion's Arch, right? It just gets blown to cinders. How does personal story then work?
That's right. Wow.
Because there's loads of instances that begin in Lion's Arch.
How come I never thought about that?
You have thought about that, because remember when we've discussed about making ore new again? You know, we've talked about that on the podcast, you know, regrowing ore and making it look good.
Well, they can make it instance then. They could just make it instance. I know the living story
it's already
starts inside of Lion's Arch, but what they can do is have it as soon as you go. Like, maybe you can start from Gandarian Fields and click the instance from there, maybe, and then
or you just wander about in the ruins of Lion's Arch, and you see the little starburst is there, and then when you click it, you go in game and you're sort of taken back in time or whatever. Because that's what this is now. If you're a new player of Guild Wars 2, you are now like a time traveler, because you are in the present day, and every time you enter a personal story instance, you are going back in time to a year ago. And the Living World has always struggled because it can't make huge sweeping changes, like in ALLL, for example, making ALLL look better, because constantly there's this thing where it's like, oh, the personal story, will this make sense, right?
Right.
So it's been something holding it back. But if they destroy Lion's Arch for good, then they have to address that. And what I think, I genuinely think they will destroy Lion's Arch for good. There was a post on the forums, I can't remember specifically why it came up, but a developer mentioned in a post on the official forums recently saying that a feature would be coming to the game that makes it clear to players that the personal story is a year ago and Living World is right now. That is something they are working on, right? If they have minds for a feature like that, doesn't that say more than anything that they are finally willing to embrace that they have to have the world move on, and that they have to be able to destroy Lion's Arch, and then they have this extra feature so it makes sense to people that they're sort of going back in time or whatever. In the first game, when you were from a later campaign and then you went back earlier, you always got a pop-up that said you are witnessing events that occurred before you got here, or before this happened, or before that happened. And that's all they really have to do to add to the personal story. As soon as they do that to all those personal story instances, finally they're free of those shackles, and they can do stuff like reinvent ALLL. Isn't that kind of exciting? That they could go through and change those ore areas, and the idea of the personal story being there that can complicate things isn't a problem anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for it to change, people have been waiting for the Living World to actually change the area, and we first got Casix Hills, and now hopefully Lion's Arch.
Yeah, so this is, I believe, the conclusion of Season 1, what they're really doing is this is a love letter to people. This is saying, look, the Living World can change things, and we're proving it to you. This is something big we're doing. All these, and Lion's Arch is one of the most complicated areas for them to change, because there is so much stuff there. There's personal story and fractals and all the services and the Asura gates. So if they take that challenge on and they come out of it with flying colors, then what a great message that's going to send to the community. It's going to be perfect. And now that I've said all of that, how disappointing is it going to be when we find out that they were too scared to do it, that they did cop out, and it's just going to go back to normal? I think that would be a disaster if they do that, and I won't be very happy.
Nah.
Lion's Arch has to get destroyed, man. It has to.
Yeah, I want to be one of those people I was here before Lion's Arch was destroyed.
Yeah, right? And that's something they want people to talk about.
Yeah, that's something
I want to
major.
do a lore video about it, and a tour.
Yeah.
It's so major. It really is. So I'm super pumped about it, especially given that quote on the forums. I don't know, guys. I think we may really be seeing this, and it really does empower what they can do with the Living World for Season 2 and stuff. And might explain why the devs have been so excited about, upcoming stuff while remaining tight-lipped about it. That's just my speculation on it. And yeah. So, was that the last bong?
Last bong. Bong!
Okay. Awesome. So, we got a couple of questions, I believe?
Yes, we do.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so weird. I always think you're the one that finds the questions, and you do, but then you send them to me, and then I'm like, right, okay, Matt's gonna read them out, and I'm like, oh wait, no, that's me. I need to open this stuff.
I have a whip, that I whip on
you
potatoes to make sure that he reads all the questions. So yeah,
kinky.
Yes, very right. That's what you like, though.
Whipping.
Whip it good.
We were talking last podcast about that whipping scene in what's it called?
Oh no, that's not. Oh,
what's he bots it?
Oh, the blood, the gore, Passion of Christ.
No, I've actually never seen. Did I tell you that before? That I've never seen the Passion of the Christ?
I mean, it's one of those films, so it's up to you.
How religious is it?
Well, it's not religious. It's just
how
a story.
preachy it. What do you mean it's not religious? It's about Jesus Christ.
It's a story about the Bible. Well, what happened?
The epitome of what a religious film can be.
Oh,
but is it preachy, or is it just the gritty?
It's not preachy. What does preachy mean?
I don't know. Telling. I don't know.
Believe in God, or you're going to hell. That type of stuff.
Yeah, something like that. You know, lots of subliminal messages in there telling you to join the army and believe in God and stuff.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, first question.
Didn't people hate that film when? Didn't people hate? No, that's the ring. That's the bell.
Bong. No, the bell. The bell is for the last question. It's the last question bell. That's why it was invented by Hitler.
Okay. Burning Stick says, by the way, all of that I was stalling for time because this image wasn't loading on Photoshop. Burning Stick says, question for next VisualWood. Hell has been mentioned in Guild Wars 2 several times, like go to hell. Is hell a real thing in Guild Wars 2? Can't find anything on the wiki.
Wow, it's relevant for what we were just talking about, huh?
Yeah, no, so I was going to say, like, with Passion of the Christ,
no,
didn't a lot
let's
of
not
actual
talk about religion.
No, I want to know. You've seen it, right?
Of course.
Didn't a lot of people get offended by it because it showed Jesus making love to a woman, and that was like blasphemy or something? Is that not a part of the movie?
No.
Does he not? No?
No.
Okay, there's a movie that did that though. There was a movie that did that, and like it got a lot of hate and stuff.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why.
It's like, have you ever heard of Piss Jesus?
Okay, so anyways,
no, it's this art. It's this art where some guy like weed in a pint jug, and then he put a statue of Jesus Christ in it, and it was like this huge, like controversial bit of art that like everybody freaked out about.
Oh man, no, let's not go in this direction.
Okay.
Let's not.
All right.
I gotta go to church tomorrow. Jeez.
Okay, sorry. You ask your. Never mind. All right.
No.
Okay. What do you think about this question? Do you have any contribution? The idea of hell.
Oh, hell in I've never heard go to hell in Terraria yet.
It's weird because they mention in game as well. Some characters like say heaven as well. Heaven is a term that comes up every now and then. And it's like, what are these people actually talking about? Is this just a faux pas from the writers? Are these people just making a mistake and they're not thinking in the Tyrian mindset somehow? Or, and this isn't confirmed, but I believe the speculative lore types will probably tell you, when they say hell, they're thinking of one of the realms of death, okay? So these are places like the underworld. Is underworld hell to some people? Probably. Hell is a concept of like a deadly place that you go to after you're killed. I guess, you know, hell sort of works in that context. There's many places in the afterlife that maybe people are talking about. Hell would be some of the less fortunate places in the afterlife to go to, such as the underworld or the domain of anguish as it was. I don't know what that place is meant to be like now that Cormier has taken over. The fissure of woe, even to an extent, is rather hellish. And then like heaven, like Dwayna's area is known as eternal paradise or whatever to some people. Maybe that's what they're talking about when they say heaven. And they're two terms that do come up in Guild Wars 2, and I often think to myself, yeah, what does this mean? And you can have a bit of a discussion on it. I don't believe there's ever been any official word from the devs about it, but yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Question 2 is from Smeen Eskise, who says, you got to tell me, what's this about? What do you guys think of the new Sonic designs?
All right, so Sonic, he's actually, I actually lied to you before we started recording. It's actually Sonic.
It is Sonic. What are you doing? I was like,
I wanted you to be unprepared.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. So I wasn't allowed to Google it earlier. All right.
Well, you
so
wouldn't have found it. It's called Sonic Boom. Okay, so like a week ago, I guess you can say, it was really recent. They released this trailer for a show and not a movie, a game, right? And Sonic, it's called Sonic Boom, and they're like, Sonic is like a little bit more older-ish, like a little teenage looking, a little bit longer legs and stuff like that, and they kind of want to redesign Sonic. And Sonic fans are very like, oh, you know, you can't change the formula. We just want 2D Sonic, and we want it to be fast all the time. You know, you can't, like, that's Sonic fans. Oh, can we have Sonic 2D fast? Can we have Sonic 2D? Like, that's pretty much what they want. But you know, Sega keeps, or whoever is making it, I think it's another team, it's not Sega, or maybe be a part of Sega, is making this Sonic, which is a couple people from Naughty Dog.
I'm watching the trailer right now.
A couple people from Naughty Dog, a couple from other places is making Sonic Boom, and the TV show is kind of like old retro type of jokes and stuff. I'm probably not interested in that. The trailer probably doesn't do it justice, but it's kind of the same design for the show as well. But the game looks interesting, and Knuckles looks like he's on steroids, dude.
Oh, I did see this. I saw someone posted like, "Oh, never skip leg day," because he was. Oh, there's a giant worm. Oh, it's like the jungle worm. It's in the trailer. That's crazy.
All I want is Sonic to be in trouble, and then Knuckles just comes out. Come with me if you want to live, and then he pulls him up. Yeah, dude, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So Sonic is such a weird franchise. To me, it's like all I ever hear is Sonic was good, Sonic was good, Sonic was good, Sonic got really bad. But Sonic Adventure was still pretty good, and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was pretty good. And then it got really bad. And then, oh wait, but this one was actually pretty good. And then, oh, it's such a terrible franchise. Oh, but the most recent one they released was actually really good. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, but Sonic Werewolf or whatever, yeah, it had some bad bits, but the other half of the game was actually really good. Like, everyone seems to be like, oh, this game was actually good. What was the big one they did? Sonic Anniversary or something? Where it was like
Sonic Generations.
Everyone's like, oh, Sonic Generations is so good, but still, that like idea of the franchise is still that it's gone to complete garbage beyond redemption, like to the general person. Even though every time a new game comes out, someone says, oh, it's actually not bad. Like, I don't know, maybe that's pretty typical for most games, but Sonic is just so
they're in a bad
stuck.
spot. They're in a bad spot because
what the hell? No one's ever happy.
Yeah, like it's either you just go back to the regular 2D. But the thing is, they went back to the regular 2D and they put it on Xbox. I think it may be Xbox only, downloadable, and it didn't sell well, so they didn't do it again. So the Sonic fans were. You don't do Sonic right.
Did you just say that was Sonic 4? Sorry.
It was Sonic 4, yeah. And they were doing episodes. Yeah. And no one, it didn't sell well, so that's it. They stopped doing it.
Oh my god, I remember all the hype and excitement for Sonic 4 too.
And no one bought it.
Like, no one's ever happy. It's basically make a clone of the first 3 Sonic games or go home. Like, and no one's ever happy because of the slightest little tweaks or differences on new abilities that just kill it for them. And they don't realize probably that it's an outdated idea.
I enjoyed Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, was that the one with like the Chow Gardens?
Yeah.
I used to go to a friend's house and we'd just sit about breeding chows all the time. And he'd do the actual levels trying to get dragons or something so we could make it breathe fire. It was so
I dreaded the levels with Knuckles, dude. Like, seriously. Finding those damn Chaos Emeralds were so annoying. So annoying, dude. But there was this one map that we kept having trouble with, me and my stepbrother. But what we enjoyed the most was the music in that level. It was it was like a scary
going out at the speed of sound.
No. It was like a rap song. It was like it's a pumpkin horror stage or something like that. I gotta look up the song. That was a really good song. We just kind of got in our heads. But yeah, I enjoyed Sonic too. Sonic Adventure, I popped it in and my wife wanted to play it. And wow, we couldn't find where to go. It was almost like Sonic's 06 all over again. Like,
what was so bad about Sonic 06? That's like the really dire one, wasn't it?
It's really bad.
What was so bad about it?
Basically, it gives you no direction, kind of sometimes, and there's glitches all the time. Like, you will walk on the top of the roof. Sometimes you will die because your Sonic would just control really badly, and like when he does a homing attack, he will like fly off the stage. And there's a lot of broken stages where you'll just fall down through the level over and over again. The stages were really like not well built, I guess you can say, like unfinished. And that
was Sonic Colors one of the good ones or one of the bad ones?
Was that the one on DS?
I think it's quite a new one. No. I think it was on Wii or something.
The newest one that just came out got pretty bad reviews, and my friend bought it on 3DS, and yeah, it wasn't so good. It wasn't so good. It was okay, but it was mostly pretty bad. Like it's the level design that killed it, pretty much. And Sonic wasn't even that fast either, which, I mean, it doesn't matter. They're trying to change Sonic, I think, from being fast to be more of a, like, adventure thing. I think that's what's that's what's happening. That's what's been happening, is that,
It's weird, like, their fans are so clingy to what Sonic once was. Like, you look at this is what I'm about to say is not new or unique. Everybody says the same thing, but it is interesting to compare both the Mario franchise and their transition into the 3D space to Sonic. And it's interesting to me that Mario is completely different to what it was. It's vaguely still a platform, but it is completely different. And yet with the Sonic fan base, they're like clinging on with their claws so hard that it's just like doomed the entire franchise.
It's recently hit its peak that it's like, okay, it's another Mario game. Right, and before they changed the form, because they've been doing like the same formula, and it's like the same stage. Oh, sorry. Ooh, I had a little burp there for some reason.
Wow.
Same stage. Oh,
did a little something come back up there?
Oh,
what have you eaten today?
I thought about Sonic 06, and I threw up a little bit in my mouth. I bought that too, I think, or I think I had a demo. And I actually bought it. I think I did buy it, and I returned it right away. Also, what was I? See, you lost track. I thought about something.
We were talking about Mario, about how you were going to say that
it
like
was the same formula over and over and over and over and over again, right? And when they finally changed it, it was too late, and it was on their Wii U, and it didn't sell. It didn't sell consoles because Mario used to sell consoles, right?
What are you talking about? Everybody loved the new Mario game that came out.
They
on Wii U.
did, but it didn't sell.
It didn't sell. I thought it did amazing. It had incredible reviews. It sold like mad. It brought the Wii U up ridiculous amounts.
No, it didn't. What do you mean? Wii U has sold less. Nintendo's in debt right now.
Yeah, I know that Nintendo as a whole aren't doing amazing, but I thought that the new Mario game did still do amazing. Yeah, the Wii U in general wasn't great.
That wasn't enough. It was too little, too late. If they launched with that instead of this garbage rehashed Mario stuff, we're talking about 3D Land, right? 3D Land. That's what I'm talking about.
The one where you get the cat suit.
Yeah, 3D Land. That one was really good, and like everyone loved it. But it was too late, and to the point that probably most of the casuals, that's the reason why the Wii U sold so much, was because everyone and their mom bought a Wii U, right? So
You mean a Wii?
A Wii, yeah. Same damn Wii 2, I guess you should call it.
Whoa, no, that's the point. It is not the same.
And that's the point why it didn't sell. It's called the Wii U, dang it. The Wii U.
There shouldn't be so much in a name, man. Oh, that really frustrates me. I hate how
a lot of people who bought it, they bought the Wii for like Wii Fit and all that, and that's probably why they're going into they're gonna develop something that has something to do with Wii Fit and the other, I think, a dance game as well. And they're gonna like make a new like peripheral, or I don't think it's a new console. I think this
DDR, man. Did I ever tell you I'm like super into DDR?
Yeah, I still have the old pad. I still have the old pad with my old Xbox. Yeah. Well, that's actually my wife's Xbox, and she brung it out the other day playing it. Yeah, I gotta jump on that again. It's fun.
All right. Okay. The next question.
Oh yeah.
It's from David. Yeah, this is a new question. David Rodriguez says, "Hey MVWP, if we get a new playable race, Tengu, do you think their personal story?" Do you like what I did there, by the way? I tried to do it like you do.
Tengu. Yeah.
Should reflect the living story thus far, i.e. Scarlet, or just be completely independent. If we get them, should they be a part of the living world, or should it just be its own thing if they get added, the Tengu? What do you think?
Should it be part of the living world, or what?
He's saying if they add the Tengu, should it be a part of the main story, or should they just add it in and it's its own little thing?
What do you mean by the main story? Like living world, personal story?
Yeah, living world. Yeah, living world.
Or
he's saying, okay, look,
like should it be involved? Should it be involved in a living story? Like, oh, the living story. Something is happening with the Tengu's wall, and someone's breaking through, or something like that. There's trouble.
Yeah, because when you pick a new race, obviously, what do you do for the first 20 levels or so? You do that race's personal story, don't you? So should that personal story be just Tengu stuff all on its own? There you go.
Oh,
or living world stuff.
It has to be different. It has to be.
You think
There's
not living
no
world?
way that would work. Okay, I'm not such a lore buff, but that would be broken.
What, if they did it with living world, or what?
No. What if they do the regular personal story? Like if you pick a Tengu, you get a personal story, and then you go with Chihurun and all that all over again.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be weird.
That'd be so weird.
It's so weird. No, I don't want that. I want a brand new, like going through the same personal story, you will see me not complete it. I tell you that. I will level up just like I always do without doing a personal story. I never do the personal story after like the 20th time. I'm sorry.
What if you picked a Tengu and then your personal story was 100% identical to the human personal story, even like the level 1 stuff? So you make a Tengu, you do the Tengu opening instance, and then you wake up in a bed and you say, oh, and they say, you've been out for 2 weeks. A friend, a noble from the city came to help you. And you're like, I am a Birdman. What are you talking about? And then you get the option, and it's like Lord Farron or the twins or whatever, and then you pick, and then you just go away. And every time your character speaks, instead of the regular dialogue, he says, I am a Birdman.
No.
You wouldn't like that?
No, I would not like that. No.
Okay, what if you get the Tengu next week, but that's how their personal story is, or you have to wait another year before you get Tengu? You would wait, really?
I don't know about another year. Hell no. But I can see why they haven't come out with a new race yet. Now that you mention that, yeah.
Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, I think it should be totally new, and it's sort of one of those things. It's like, hey, so your personal story now isn't Living World personal story. It's like just a totally new one. Can you imagine if they add 80 entirely new levels worth of personal story? It's sort of like they've given you a new expansion campaign as long as you pick that class, that race.
Yeah.
That's actually a really interesting idea that I've never thought about.
20 levels.
What?
You said 1 to 18, right? For personal story.
No, I said 1 to 80. 1 to 80.
Oh, I thought you said 18.
Get like
okay.
No. 1 to 80. Full new personal story that levels you all the way from level 1 to level 80 or whatever, spaced out the same as the current one is, but all the missions are like totally new about a different story, perhaps reflective of what's currently going on in the living world.
All right, so if they do that for Tengu, they would have to do it for every race that they come out with?
And maybe that is why it would take them a long time to do new races. Would you like that? Or would you be like, no, don't do a full personal story, just give us lots of races?
Oh, man.
I would love that, dude. I think that would actually be really good.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to pick a Tengu and be like, oh, this is like I'm playing a whole new Guild Wars 2 because it's a whole new story.
Absolutely,
you know?
But I would hope that they come up with a couple new class. They won't come out with another class, that's right. It'll just be another race. But yeah, I get yeah.
Well, they might add like the Death Knight race class and the Tengu together or something, but... Well, that's the only thing they've got left, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, interesting idea. I quite like that question. That was really good. All right, number 4. Emmy Chantel. You always pick questions from Emmy. I see people in the comments who are always like...
No?
Yeah, you do. No? Maybe I just recognize Emmy a lot. Maybe I pick
there's another
as well.
person named Emmy.
Is there?
We picked her. Yeah, she has like I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. All right. What do you think? She says, who do you think's going to die during the Lion's Arch battle? Most people are saying Kasmeer, but I'm really hoping none of them end up like our mentors. So there's like this douchebag kid that's running around at the bank, and like they're a human, and they're playing with a char, and like that's always really annoyed me, and I kind of want them both to die.
Wow, children.
Well, it's Living World. They've grown up a little bit by now.
Children? No, they haven't. It's only been 2 years.
They have grown up. It's Living World.
Or 1 year.
Yeah, and Char are like dogs. They grow up very, very quickly.
They're like
and cats.
They're like dogs.
Yeah,
they're still running around, and they're still small.
No, you're lying. You're wrong, and they're gonna die, and I'm gonna be like, lol, there's. Wow.
Wow, and you're just gonna. I just want a picture of you laughing over their dead bodies. Yeah, just going crazy with it. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Rude.
Absolutely.
Who would you want to die, main character wise?
I would like. Let's just burn and kill. Oh, come to think about it, if Kasmeer dies, would her illusion of her clothes disappear?
Oh, you're a genius.
I know, right? I know I am. I'm brilliant.
Did you come up with that? Seriously? Wow.
Just now I thought about that. So
basically, she can't die because otherwise ArenaNet are breaking law, and they also can't show stuff like that because of ratings.
So she can't die. She won't be the one dying. She's always naked.
We figured this out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's always naked. She's like that cosplayer with the paint,
Yeah.
but she's painting in your mind.
Oh, yes.
It's quite
Just
quite
like
quite
the
thing to
last
say.
Doctor Who episode. Ha ha!
Oh wow, this is really weird. The next question is from Justin Bradley, who says, "Why don't you ever answer my questions?" It's alright. I was fighting your battle there, Justin. Just
who
now,
would
I
you
was
think
fighting
will
your
die?
battle.
Hold up. Who would you think would die?
I've already said. I think the little Char kids will die. I don't know, man. Loads of NPCs are gonna die.
All right, well, let's take
Main character-wise.
Right now, just choose one person who was on that beach. There's probably gonna be someone.
Okay,
on that beach.
I want Kasmeer to die so that Marjorie has like a really dark twist.
And you could see some stuff, huh?
No, nothing to do with that. Like, she'll die off screen, whatever. I don't care. I think
Wow.
legitimately, Kasmeer dying would be very, very cool for the story.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, that's where I'd like to see deaths go. But how they will go, I don't know.
Okay, so what about Braum dies and then Rox realized that she always loved him?
No, because that's a sob story. I don't want any more sob stories. I want someone to get cracked in some way.
Or maybe
And
Logan
not become
dies,
like a
and
villain.
then, Queen Jenna's like, I'm glad he's dead. And then she goes,
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day. Yeah, I really think for that story as well. I was saying that I think she should betray Logan in some huge way, and then Logan cracks in some way,
and she
then Logan
kills her. That would be brilliant. I would also.
Yeah, and
I
he
would
goes on like this
just
warpath.
stab his sword like right through her. Just,
Like there's opportunities there because of like Logan's brother. Like they've never talked about Logan's brother or ever had it be a big enough part of the story, in my opinion. So like it would be pretty cool if it turned out that like the Queen, I don't know, they just brought that element of him back in, because I think 99% of players of Guild Wars 2 don't actually realise he had a brother that lived in Ebonhawk and stuff like that. So it'd be pretty cool to come up with that.
all right. Why do I not answer your questions? Okay, so just in case no one heard this before, or you listened to half the podcast or something like that, the questions, they either don't show up on YouTube and I don't see them, or sometimes I am not lazy, but like sometimes I use a method of using a question mark to find all the questions very quickly when I don't have time to read all of them. But usually I go back and read all of them and I see some questions that I missed. But sometimes I don't see them at all. Most of the time it's because of YouTube. Because I read every comment that I get, which is very, very hurtful at times. Very hurtful at times. So I do read a lot of comments. So I read all the comments for VisualWood because I don't want to miss anything. But make sure you add a question mark so it would help me look at it. But usually you guys are very good at adding.
Have real grammar.
Yeah. Sometimes you add a Q there, and you guys don't add a question mark, and I see the Q anyway, so it's fine.
I will say for you in particular, Justin, a lot of your questions do get through, but before the podcast, I browse through them, and if I ever see one with you, I specifically say to Matt, "No, we're not answering this question," and he says, "Oh, why not?" And I just say, "Look, I've got my own reasons." And then
it's because he thinks he hates Justin Bieber, so he doesn't like the word Justin. So that's probably
the second name beginning with a B.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's the reason why. But really, it's the combination between YouTube and the question has been answered already. Yeah. We're not going to answer the same question. Like we've answered questions at least 2 times each. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's too deep of a question for our intellect, and we're like, oh no, it's too complicated. We'll do the next.
Pretty much.
So here's a very deep question coming up from Brandon Blattner, who says, "Hey WP, I was wondering if you think that with these new Edge of the Mist style enemies that actually have some mechanics, we'll be seeing more mobs like the ones in Dungeons revamped, so the actual content is hard, like the devs wanted it to be at launch, or do you think Dungeons will never change in a meaningful way with a lack of dungeon team?" I think the current dungeons, as you see them in Guild Wars 2, aside from Ara, which may be wholesale revamped at some point, will remain exactly as they are. I think ArenaNet, instead of revamping current paths, will be adding new paths, just as we saw with Twilight Assault. And in this way, they don't remove content so people don't complain about it, but they do slowly add more difficult and interesting content. I think even just revamping bosses on their own is not enough to make a dungeon suddenly interesting and fun. When all the areas you're going to are the same, the general premise is the same, the NPCs are saying the same thing, and it's still just, slam things against walls. So I don't think your proposition would save dungeons in the first place. And there are other reasons why I wouldn't do it that way. Yeah, I think they'll just add new paths that are more fun.
People want new content. People don't want rehashed old content. That's one thing that a lot of people agree with. Like that's the majority right there. Like no one wants to go like, oh, Catacombs is better, so let's go in there and beat it again, even though most of it is the same. No one wants to do that. People who are running Catacombs are running Catacombs. People who are not are gonna stay not running it. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna change.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, yeah, they'd revamp all of this content that's in a sorry state at the moment in the game. In a perfect world. But they've also got, limitations. There's a lot of other stuff that I would want to see over dungeons, So in all seriousness, I think they will just have a team that creates a new path for a new dungeon every now and then. The only candidate for a complete obliteration and redo is Ara, in my opinion. Because there's just so much broken about every single path of Ara, including the story mode, that it would warrant it. And that would line up quite nicely with some kind of ore revitalization as well. And hey, maybe that's like something that's going to be going on in season 2. With all the story stuff that's going on, there's always opportunity in new seasons that come up that there are like separate arcs going on at once. And maybe, this is where we'll start to see this kind of thing. Next question is from Zapristo. I like how you've scribbled out a bit at the top, and I can't read it, and I'm desperately curious to what it says. You also drew hair on the guy's avatar.
I got a little wild. It's all good.
It was like Super Saiyan hair you've drawn on there. That's quite nice. Do you want to talk about that?
No.
Do you like Dragon Ball Z?
I'm a Super Saiyan in real life, dude.
Do you like Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, of course, dude. Of course I like Dragon Ball Z.
Do you have a tail in real life?
Yes, but it's in a different place.
How do you rate Goku and Frieza?
I rate them 10. I rate them 10.
Okay. My next question. Oh, it's a riddle. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this? A riddle. Yeah. Did you read this? Don't tell me you googled this before.
I never do. You know I never do.
Okay.
I'm too lazy. Right. I just copy and paste those things in there.
Okay, here we go. My next question is, can you guess the riddle? We do not know his name, but don't question his fame. And when you hear his voice, so great is the Joyce, that's not a word, that you ask him shy, are you really that guy? And he says, yes, I am. Let's kill that worm again. Oh, what? Oh, this isn't a real riddle? I've never been so disappointed that I'm the subject of a poem. That was beautiful. That was wonderful. Thank you for that.
As you say, it's not a word, it's because he couldn't rhyme it with joy.
Well, then, you like the way you write poems, if you can't find something to rhyme it with, you would change voice instead of Joyce.
Right.
But hey, Joyce reminds me of Nurse Joy. So that's quite nice, I guess. Do you want a riddle from me?
Why? What would be the riddle?
I'll give you a riddle. Okay. Here we go. All right. Let's see if you can get this. What goes up when rain comes down? No.
What goes up? What?
When rain comes down.
Moisture.
I guess technically that's true. The answer is an umbrella.
Oh, what goes up when rain comes down? Right.
An umbrella. There you go. If I drink, I die. If I eat, I'm fine. What am I?
If I drink, I die. If I eat, I die.
No. If you drink, you die. If you eat, you're fine.
Oh. Drink, eat. What could something eat? Was that electronic? You eat batteries, but you put water on it and it dies? No, that wouldn't make any sense. I don't know.
Oh, no, that's it. It's a circuit board. That's the answer.
Oh, nice.
The answer... No, I was lying. The answer is a fire.
Oh, so it can eat food?
No, like you feed a fire, don't you? It consumes things.
Yeah, I guess.
What can you catch
I rate that
not throw?
0 out of 10. Pokeballs.
What can you catch but not throw?
What can I?
Last one.
What can I catch
Yeah.
but not throw?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can catch a coal.
Yeah, it's a code. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Yay!
got it.
I got it, guys. I'm gonna go call my mommy.
You got wow.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You don't have to be so rude about
I'm not
it.
rude. I'm just saying I'm gonna call my
was
mommy after the
rude.
podcast and say I got a riddle.
That was rude.
It's not rude, dude.
How often do you call your mom?
A couple times a week, or she calls me mostly.
Wow.
I'm not a mom. I'm not. Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not really a mommy's.
I'm not a mommy's boy.
It's not bad. It's a good thing to be a mommy's. Well, not mommy's boy. Like living at your mom's.
No, I
house.
agree. You should keep in contact with. Your
Yeah,
parents.
but you always should keep in contact. Yeah, yeah.
Navius, let's move on. Navius says, what are your thoughts on horizontal character progression? For example, a ranger choosing between becoming a druid, a wild beastmaster, or a sniper. These subclasses would have certain roles connected to them, resulting in greater role distribution in organized PvE. I think this would result in great gameplay diversification, but also an actual class identification. I'm an ALLL, a mini master, a protection guard, which is really lacking in the moment.
The thing about this, I feel like that would just go against what Guild Wars 2 wants to achieve. They don't want to kind of be like everyone else. You know, they've prided themselves of, oh, we're different than any other MMO, blah, blah. And they've had this system that you can be anything you want without having to, reset your whole class, your subclass or whatever like that.
It's sort of like the Maple Story thing where it's like, oh, you start off as a beginner, and then you're a ranger, and then you're like a hunter, and then you're like a whatever,
Yeah.
and like you diversify each time. I think this is pointless, and I think I'm all for horizontal character progression. I do think there is a limit to it. Guild Wars 1 is a great example of a game that had too much horizontal character progression. The learning curve became way too steep, thousands of skills. The community knew way more about combinations between skills than the devs could ever predict. There's a limit to it. But I think the main reason why I'm against horizontal progression in game right now is that there's already a bazillion different things there in the traits. There's current grandmasters and all kinds of interesting, even weapons, utility skills that people just never use because the numbers are off and because they don't work. Why are you talking about adding more, bloated features like this that sound fancy and cool? Ooh, huntsman, blah, blah, blah. When in actuality, everyone's just going to swing to one thing or another because balance, even in its current state, isn't in where it should be. Like, you fix a trait, and I'm just as excited about that as I would be as if you added a new trait, right? Fix the trait, it does the same thing, and it doesn't steepen the learning curve. They need to just work on what they've got right now before they add all this other stuff. Think about it. What was the one skill that they've added, in a while? Do you remember?
Healing
Obviously,
skill.
they changed heal skill. Yeah, healing skill. Most people don't run their new heals. They do have some situational use. Some classes do get to use them. But also, the other healing skill, the toxic thing, nobody ever uses it. And you just have the same thing. No, there's no point. I don't...
I like
this-
my
this-
horizontal progression. I definitely want something. Maybe like what I've mentioned before, like another tree or another trait system or something like that. But nothing that is like, okay, you go, once you go inside this class, you remove everything that you could have done before. Because the way Guild Wars 2 is built is that you can be anything, and you can balance them out and stuff like that. You don't have to be just an Ellie. You can be everything, or a combination of them, and you can use all these other skills. You're just limiting people to this. Like, we already have only one a limited weapon skills. Like, don't limit us even more. Like, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's more balancing. It's a lot of work. Not to say like, oh, they shouldn't do things. That's a lot of work. But I mean, it's limiting what we have, and why would we want less?
I don't think it's limited. Adding more builds, even if those builds are restrictive, it's still giving people more options. But the thing is, you don't need a specific organized feature like this person's suggesting to introduce that thing. You're touching on good points, like this idea of adding a feature that lets someone be an ALLL. Yeah, I actually think that's kind of interesting. All Elementalist gameplay right now is rotating through your achievements as much as possible to get access to as many cooldowns as possible. I think the prospect of a trait, say that other, a Grandmaster Arcane trait that wasn't the Condis on Arcane skills, but a Grandmaster Arcane trait that added incentive to stay in attunements for longer. Like there was more risk reward. So it's like, okay, after 10 seconds of staying in fire attunement while being in combat, you start gaining might stacks, and it keeps ticking up and up and up and up the longer you're in fire attunement. But the second you swap out of fire attunement, you lose all might stacks. You know, like these are interesting ideas, and like incentives to stick in attunements and then eventually swap out. I like that idea. And then yeah, you could have builds where people are like, hey, yeah, I'm primarily an air ellie, or I'm primarily water, or whatever. But you don't need to have all these subclasses and stuff. That's not what you need to do. They just need to fix grandmasters and
what
stuff.
What about this?
They've already
what
got...
about instead of that, they pretty much add another tier above grandmaster? Because you're saying fixing grandmasters. Yeah, that would be pretty much a thing.
Add another tier, but don't give people more trait points.
Of course, give more people more trait points.
No. Don't give people more trait points.
No. That would just be devastating. At least a couple
Why?
more points. At least a couple more.
No. Don't give anyone, because if you
so
add
it
extra...
incentivizes people to stay in that one tree, like for Ellie. Okay.
Yeah, it's more build diversity. It's not about staying in one tree, but it's like you have to dedicate to a specific line, or like the higher that you can go in the traits, but still with a low pool of trait points. There's more like distinction between the builds you're running. So like right now we can go 30 in 2 different lines, and that blurs the lines. But if you could only max out just one tree, well, you'd still be able to max out 2 trees.
That's the same
on
thing
your
as the
system,
rune
but
thing.
still.
That's the same thing as the rune. What they're doing to the runes is that the more you go,
Yeah,
into
they're
them,
just yeah,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I agree with the core of what you're saying. More horizontal progression would be nice, but they don't have to start adding new stuff. They just need to fix existing stuff. And then, yeah, maybe one day, you know, a new profession, like Matt was saying earlier, stuff like that. There'll be a time where it's worthwhile, and it will be a warranted change. Are you ready? Oh, he was ready!
Yeah!
Listen to that, guys.
Yeah,
Sweet
baby.
music.
Oh, yeah! Nom!
It's like you could do like the backing vocals in some kind of like soul song. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Like in the background. It'd be too good.
Yeah. Just like in the choir.
Being one of those choruses, and you stand there like clicking, like you're wearing white robes, and you just sit there clicking, keeping a beat constantly.
Yeah. Get it.
Yeah. I can imagine you doing like backup dancing so well right now.
Art.
Oh, okay. A little bit too far. Mike Thumb says, "Hey fellas, so questions." Wow, this is weird. The last question's sort of related. Why does that keep happening? Matt, do you write music? If so, what do you use? DAW, synths, etc.?
Oh, okay. You're going one question at a time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I do not write music. I am a nub. I do play drums. I did learn a little bit of piano. I did learn a little bit of bass, but you know that I used to do a lot of that. But now I live in a condo and I can't beat on my drums anymore. I love music, so I made most of my music that you see on my channel on a music maker thing that had like a bunch of clips, and I had like tons and tons of clips and loops and all that, and I just put them all together and I make a nice sound, and I love doing that. It's pretty satisfying, even though I would love to play the violin and all that type of stuff and get me a MIDI keyboard and actually like, you know, play some sounds and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Do either of you use de-essers on your microphones, and which mics do you use? What the hell is a de-esser?
Actually, I don't know. De-ess?
Neither do I.
De-esser?
I use a pop shield on my mic, but that's it.
De-essers?
Yeah.
I don't know. De-ess?
I could Google it, but I'm being too lazy. Also, I use like the bog standard, hey, everyone on YouTube should use this, because it's cheap and it works pretty well. A Blue Yeti. And that's what you used for a long time, right?
Yeah.
But
well,
now...
Yeah, I mean, I still have it here with me, but I went out yesterday and got me a Audio-Technica 2035, and then I got a Scarlett audio interface. And I just got it, so I haven't messed with any of the EQ settings or anything like that, so this is just plain flat that I'm using right now. And it sounds pretty good so far. I mean, it's a lot more expensive. That's for sure, but I want to tweak the settings and see what I can do to make that sound that I want. And also, other than to give people a good example, other than just a good mic, you kind of want a good room as well. So if you're in a very empty room, You get that reverb, and you get the sound bouncing off the walls, and that's how you kind of hear it very. You get that really echoey sound, and you don't want that. So for people who, you could get a very cheap mic and get a good room, and you will sound beautiful with that cheap mic. It doesn't really matter. When I mean by cheap mic, I don't mean like a headset mic. I mean actually a dedicated microphone, like maybe a Blue Snowball that's like $60. And yes, I do think $60 for a mic is cheap. Some people
elitist.
What do you mean? That's not elitist. That's like, because people are like, oh, you cheap is like $17. No, you're not gonna get anything.
No,
good.
here's my recommendation. If you ever get a plane, if you ever get on a plane to say, like you're going on holiday or whatever, these are great opportunities to get yourself some free earbuds, and sometimes you can even get a cheeky little headset microphone as well. Great mic, lasted me years, perfect quality.
Wow.
And it came free with the plane ride.
Wow. That explains a lot of your
Oh, don't say it.
your
Don't
qualities
break my heart. Don't go breaking my heart.
Don't break my heart. Say
My
love
aching
me
breaking heart.
again.
Okay, alright, no, it's not
Don't
serenade.
break
Let's...
Okay.
What's the next video project after Raven and Starbound? Can I request more point and click, please? Even playing some old games like Sam and Max or Broken Sword. We all love the banter you guys have in games like this.
So, all right. So this is what's gonna happen. I guess we could say it. Basically, we're gonna have a series on his channel, and we're gonna have a series on my channel, and we're gonna try to I'm gonna try to make sure that it stays on the schedule as well. I'm kind of revamping the channel.
I will be all over the place as always.
Yeah,
and
because we're planning on doing like one on his channel, one on my channel, but like I don't know, like it's gonna be too much of a hassle. So we might as well just do 2 series and just launch it together, maybe something like that. At least the launch will be together.
Oh, we should give it like a catchy name. It will be like
VisualWood.
No, it'll be like the season. It'll be like our collab crossover bonanza or something.
We should make it an event that we like. Okay, guys, we're gonna start a new project, and we're gonna finish that project, and then we're gonna start a new project, and we like have it like Chaka Conroy. You know how Chaka Conroy has those projects that he does, and then he like stops, and then he works on the next project and stuff. Like
what do you think? Do you think we should set up like a convention, like VisualWood Convention 2015?
Dude, if we get popular, absolutely, I would love to meet people. And people would love to meet you.
I'm not going to Atlanta though. It would have to be over here.
Excuse me? You paying for that plane?
You
paying for that plane ride? You paying for?
You paying for mine?
Tides
have turned.
Dude, I'm pretty sure a romantic night at in British land is gonna be more expensive than coming to Atlanta,
the middle of nowhere. Yeah, Atlanta. We're not hosting
the U.S.
our first convention.
The U.S. is dying. Like we're literally like a dying plant. Okay.
Wow.
British people, you're all rich and flying on brooms. So
look, we'll continue this argument in 2016. Okay, when it's more relevant. Yeah. Yeah. And if we forget, dear viewers, those of you still watching in 2016.
Oh, so you're saying in 2016 that's when we're gonna be popular? Because that's how long it takes.
We'll be big enough, right? And when we're there, if we've forgotten this, dear viewers, set alarms on your phones right now. You can do that. Set an alarm 2 years in the future, and you'll remember, and you'll be like, oh yeah, those guys, yeah. And then you send me a personal message. I'll be in touch.
Great.
That's it. That's the end of the podcast.
That is the end. We have finished, and this one has been the longest VisualWood ever. For now.
Has it? That's what she said.
Yes. Of course she said that. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and stay visual.
Ridlock has no paps.